You guys performed a play. You convinced a hag to release her prisoner against her own interests, I suppose, which is why I had you guys level up. You made your way to the Palace of Heart's Desire. You met some strange folks who didn't have much memory of being or how they got to where they were. There were a couple of frozen people as well, frozen in time people, not frozen in ice people. Um, Again, running theme that you've come across throughout all of your adventures in the Feywild is people just not having a great memory of things that have happened and how they got to where they were. You met a couple of animated statues, Envy and Wrath. Discovered a bit of a trick slash puzzle to opening doors by putting these crowns on their heads. You found a bunch of crap as well. You learned some stuff. Signa got an axe. You searched around, but we left off with you guys opening the palace door via Wrath's crown, putting the crown on Wrath's head. That's where we left off. That's quick and easy. We took up too much time, so we'll leave it at that. So yeah, you guys are now. You heard the door open when you put the crown on Wrath's head, which we remember the great token of Wrath, because
Oh,
just
yes, I remember that now.
That's right. I was sitting here like, I remember what Envy looks like. Why don't I remember what Wrath looks like?
yeah, because and there are others. There are other modules that are significantly worse. So far, I think that's the only one in this module. But
So far.
I ran. I didn't run it, but I had it. It was like I think it was one of the like little demo test things for Mordenkainen's I don't remember what it is, like monsters
Tome of
or something.
Foes.
Yes, that one. There was like a free little adventure, and every single one of the tokens were that.
Which is
Just the name.
ironic because Tome of Foes is literally a book of monsters.
Exactly. So it may have been just part of the little demo, I guess, and maybe the full thing has them, but I was like, yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm never gonna do. I might use the map for something. I don't even think the map was any good, but yeah, it was just. That's such laziness to me. I can't believe that they get away with that.
I started prepping a campaign for the first time in a long time this past weekend, and I'm finding that it is so much easier to just go to like 5e tools and steal their tokens.
I have
sometimes they look dumb, but everything has tokens there.
5e tools. I have the monster manual on Roll20, so I have the full monster manual, so I have them all already. But there are obviously some tokens that I create myself because I manipulated a lot of stat blocks. So, and the problem with Roll20 is if you manipulate a stat block, sometimes it will overwrite the one that's already in there, and it becomes a pain. So,
better.
Yeah,
it sounded like lag. You were like slowing down, and then you got sped up too. Yeah.
Yeah, Discord tried to catch up, so it made your voice.
I was gonna say the slowdown speed up. Yeah, that's a connection.
Yeah, it sounded like chipmunking you for a second.
But I understood.
But I'm good now.
Yeah, completely understandable. Yeah, and now you're good. So Matt, when we put the crown on, nothing else happened. Like the statue didn't begin moving or anything, right? Like I know you said it bowed down to get the put on, but it just stood back up and it's staying there.
Yep.
Okay.
And sorry, just
sorry. Let me actually open this. Sorry, that door's open. I did.
Okay. I was sorry. I was on the phone with my girlfriend last time we were talking about this. So just to recall what was going on here, we got the crown and we had to decide who was the rightful king.
And
we
gave it to the right one based on the riddle. Now the front door is open.
Okay. So I mean, you basically got the impression that each statue will open different doors. So it's not like one is correct and the other one's incorrect. It's just which one opens which doors. So the front door you chose correctly. And
Had we not put the crown on the right statue, the door wouldn't have opened and the crown would have shattered. But because we solved the riddle, now if we put the crown on the different statues, different doors will open.
As we're approaching, Griswold is going to kind of just like try to get up to the door first and give a quick look around because this is Zabilna's like where she is, right? As far as we know.
yes. This
So
is
yeah,
her palace.
he's going to be kind of paranoid, and he's just going to go up and begin. He's sure that there's going to be one, so he's going to just start looking for traps.
I mean, the door's open, but you can do that.
Oh no, even like I mean, he's looking for pressure plates. If in his mind, if these three hags were able to capture her, they're not going to just leave her keep wide open.
Yep. You don't see anything.
All right, so he's gonna kind of look in, poke his head around both sides, and just go, "Oh, I suggest we move together, but move slowly. Not really sure how safe it'll be inside."
Yeah,
Makes sense
sounds
to me.
good.
So as you go into this, what appears to be a long hallway, the walls are illustrated with painted panels rather, depicting a starry sky. The paintings show what a viewer would see while looking out through a set of windows into a clear, moonless night.
Well, that's pretty.
And it looks like there's 4 sets of doors.
We can try the door on the right, maybe, and just go in a circle.
Seems a good plan as any.
Yeah, and Matt, in case you just don't want to have me roll every time, it's a 16 for. Oh no, I'm sorry. Now that I have expertise, I have a 19 passive investigation.
Nice.
So if you want to just go off that instead of having me roll at every single door, I'm going to be looking for traps.
Yes.
And we have several people with a passive 17 perception.
All right. Well, then I will go up and check if the door is locked.
It is not.
Okay. I will slowly open it and try to remain quiet. Okay.
Spiral stairs is what you see in here.
I'll ask Ragna if she could poke her head in the stairs and look up and see if she could see where it goes at all.
Yep, she'll look up.
There's another doorway in here too.
These are over here are stairs, like a staircase that goes up.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
The staircase goes up about 30 feet, so you really can't see anything at the top at this point.
Yeah, and Ragna will just shrug and shake her head and say, "Well, I can't see much. Did we want to explore this floor before heading up any stairs, or just choose a stair and go up?"
I would say we should probably explore down here, that way we're not caught unawares should anything happen.
Certainly.
Floor behind floor sounds good.
I do wonder if the door that we passed to reach this one actually leads into this same room.
We can try.
All right. Well, once again, check if it's trapped, and if it's not, I will slowly open it.
Meanwhile, Callum will step out onto the stairs and just say, "Yes, it does seem to be. I can see a balcony that those doors would lead to."
Yeah, he's correct. It is a balcony that goes out. And stepping out, and obviously it's going to let you keep walking, but don't go past that.
Jump.
Do a flip.
You can see that this area, there is like below you, essentially. You can see these like sort of like pillar shapes out in the distance, but below you see what appears to be a stormy void. And you can see that they're like these they look like towers that are essentially suspended within this floating stormy void. It probably makes a little bit of sound, but it's not like you're standing in the middle of an actual storm.
Hmm.
So the description that it gives is it's a rectangular courtyard that is open to the twilight sky. There
I
is
was
no
going to ask,
visible.
what about looking up?
Yeah, so you can see the sky and the I guess probably maybe from where you're looking you may not be able to see the top of the towers, sort of the angle, but there is obviously no visible floor. It is a vortex of dark clouds. Below there's a marble tower rising from the maelstrom encircled by 7 turrets. And there are stone staircases going up. There appear to be, you can see 2 of them. You would, for aesthetically pleasing purposes, you would assume that there are probably some on the other side as well. Um, each one is sort of like a bit of a buttress. They don't look like they're actually supporting the floating tower, but it kind of gives that impression that they're in some way supporting it, even though they probably aren't.
Interesting. I can see a second stairwell, as well as another balcony that seems to be on the same level as us to the north.
Signe, do you think you can jump over to the stairs?
That's a good question. Probably. And I'd like to give it a shot.
Give me 1 second. This map is actually freaking enormous. I have to make sure that I've got everything in place here. Because I know there's a way to do this as well. I'll have to try that out. I don't know if any of you are aware of this because it's never been a need, but you can individually move different people to different maps. So
Yep.
like if one of you goes one place, I can just move you to that map and leave everybody else where they are.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But don't you know, you never split the party.
Exactly. So, Signe, where are you trying to jump to?
The staircase, I guess, where Callum is. Unless
Right
I don't
here?
have to. Yeah, I mean, unless I can
Is
just
there?
walk around.
You can just
Yeah,
walk
you
around.
can't just walk around. There's no particular reason that you
Your
would need
sister's trying to get you killed.
Yeah, basically. Because that is an
Ragna.
incline, so I mean, it's not like it's gonna be a straight jump either. I mean, it would be the distance going across and up.
Does someone want to check the doors on the other side?
Griswold will run over and once again, if it's not locked, pop it open, assuming that there's going to be just a balcony
Indeed,
and then stairs.
indeed.
All right. So
I will say
yeah.
so. You can't really see the way that they did this map. So that you can't. There are doors at the top here. I don't know if you can even see me.
Oh,
On
like,
thing on my
okay.
map. Yeah, there are doors, but because this is going up, it's a different map that you would actually be going into if you go into those little into those towers. So
Gotcha.
Okay.
So then I guess Griswold will yell back to Ragna and just say, let them know it's the same on this side. Which side do we go up?
Do we want to go left or right?
Makes no difference, really. Though I would suggest we try one of the spiral stairs before we actually go into a central tower.
We can do that.
And
Yours is as good as any, right?
if worse comes to worse, we can always try jumping to some of these other balconies to gauge the rest of the area. But sticking together seems like a smarter decision.
So let's
Okay.
try this spiral staircase. We'll go on up.
Moving on up.
Mm-hmm.
right, move your tokens on the other map to the right place, real quick. I have to resize them because this map is huge and therefore your tokens are tiny.
Ooh.
You should be in the same spot that you were.
Pitch black for me.
Yep.
Same.
Did you put us on like the wrong layer or something?
Yes.
I
did. I put you on the
Yeah,
dynamic
layer.
lighting layer.
That is
You
one
would-
thing I learned when I DM my own. It was if there's ever a problem, check the layers.
You would think that putting us on the dynamic lighting layer would still let us see.
You would think.
By the way, there was something I wanted to ask real quick while we sort this out. Has anyone worked with like map generating tools before?
Yes.
Not with great success.
Okay, well, because there was one that popped up in Steam yesterday called Dungeon Alchemist, and it basically uses an AI to like generate maps and things like that. And it apparently has an API with Roll20, so you can just import the maps that it makes. And I was just wondering if people had experience with such programs before.
The only program that I've used on there's one in Steam too. It's Dungeon Painter Studio,
Same.
which I do not particularly like.
Same.
It
makes
is
them-
way too bland.
It is.
Exactly.
It's one of those things that was probably good when it came out, but it's been out for a long time and has never really been updated.
Yeah. So personally, and those I think you guys had seen it. So what I personally think is the best, and it's actually gotten a lot better recently, even though I haven't used it, is Incarnate. Like you can pay a subscription. You can do it for free, but it's somewhat limited. But messing around with that, and actually like the I didn't make it, but the map that I'm using for Stormhaven was made in Incarnate.
Okay.
That's a very, very good. It takes practice. You're not going to
Mhm.
be good at it. You're not going to be good at it at first, but it's very, very good for an online tool.
I
And then
think-
you can just save it as a JPEG or whatever, and then upload it into Roll20.
Because I think I have a couple people who I play with on the West March who are DMs that use Incarnate for maps.
You,
All the
It's-
assets in that link look really familiar.
yeah, there's a lot of. I would say it's possible to make insanely great maps, but it's also very possible to make really crappy maps because again, it takes a lot of practice to get used to the tools. But
Okay.
I do recommend it if you're looking for something, because
I recommend Reddit because there are entire subreddits
Yeah,
of just
battle
people who
maps
make
or
battle
something.
maps.
Yeah.
exactly that's what I tend to do as well. So that's where Stormhaven came from. I wasn't gonna make that map, so
Okay.
unless you have a very specific like continent or whatever for like a homebrew or something. If you need to make like a continent map for a homebrew, I think Incarnate is great because sometimes even on Reddit, if you find some like world maps, people are gonna put their own names and stuff on it, and then you can try to like edit that out if you want. But yeah, if you have something very specific in mind and you can't find it, Incarnate's pretty good.
Okay. But sorry for the tangent. I was just
That's
thinking about
fine.
it.
So we
Uh,
make it to the second floor.
Indeed. There's a door. There's a set of double doors. And that's it. You basically went up a tower.
Does the
each
tower
place.
keep going?
It is not.
Okay.
Interesting. This seems, from its placement, like it would lead back out doors, but is there a balcony out to the front?
You can open up the doors and see that, yes, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we got a pretty good view of the garden now.
And looking over to the left, oh, and another balcony. And what the heck is this thing?
Yeah, it's the it's some flavor.
It's the decoration that it has like the writing on it, isn't it?
It's the decoration for other sections of the map. They didn't figure that they would remove that for it. It's completely unnecessary fluff, is what that is. It doesn't. It's actually just the top
Gotcha.
part of a different section of the map, and it's just like that's really dumb because you can see. I think they did a good job. You have the blurred version of the the garden below, and they ruined it by putting all that crap there. But yes, that's what you're looking at.
Okay, so does this
Ignore
does
that
the
part that I can't
staircase-
remove.
Does this staircase go up more or no?
It does not.
And there were no other doors in here.
It's
Back
just
on
going
down.
up to a
Windows.
balcony.
I would bet
This-
we should try the other stairwell just to be safe, but I imagine it will be much the same.
I will save you the hassle and tell you that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
All right, then I don't. If you're gonna have to change maps multiple times, I'm assuming we're gonna go back down this staircase and then go up the stairs that were this way, right?
Either that, or there were some other balconies that I could probably reach
Can
if we
I
wanted to continue to explore that floor.
Maybe there's just an easier way to get there besides jumping. I mean, I know I told Signe to jump, but that was a joke.
Was
Well,
it
there's one at
though?
least that's easily within range.
can I check the walls and see if there's like any hidden door? I find it strange that there's a tower with just a balcony at the top.
Yep.
What am I rolling? Investigation or perception?
That would be investigation.
Okay.
Nope.
I mean, certainly, if we just want to go up the stairs, that is perfectly reasonable. I thought maybe I would make sure it was known that that was an option.
I'm on the same page as Ragnar. I think if we leave the jumping dangerously until it's necessary.
All right.
Yeah, Callum, I don't know what you're made out of, but I prefer not to eat my shins for lunch.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not the best long jumper in the world. I think the furthest I've ever gotten is about 26 feet.
Have you done this for fun?
It's part of a physical exercise trainings, things to stay healthy and ahead of death.
Long jumps as exercise, huh? What did you do before you joined us?
Mostly calisthenics.
What are those?
Uh, the use of exercise using only one's own body.
So, just exercise.
That's what you were asking, right? What I did to train
Yeah.
for that?
I mean, fair enough.
So this is 15 feet across, essentially, to like this other balcony that you can see. It's 15 feet across, and I mean 20 some feet down, essentially, because this is like 30 feet up as well.
I am a monk with Step of the Wind and Slow Fall.
Yeah. So
I,
Yes,
I can
pretty
go
cool.
over there without a problem.
Yeah, but you might be isolated from everyone else.
Yeah,
Is
I'm
the-
just, like I said, just pointing out that it's an option.
Why don't
If-
we try the easy way first?
Makes sense.
So you guys gonna go up into this tower?
Yes. Attempt to
Mhm.
at least.
All right. So I'll move you back, and then let's. So oddly, the way that they do this, there actually isn't a door. You just walk up. Apparently, there's no door. So, yeah, a little strange. So let me move you all into a bunch here, and then I'll move you all over there. Boop.
And we look around.
Arvid, is this some sort of trick?
Maybe we have to put the crown on the other, on the lion.
That could be it.
So these are turrets, and this one in particular, you see an enameled white coffer resting on a black basalt pedestal in the middle of this room. The coffer does not appear to be locked, or doesn't there, because there's no lock on it, just like just a lid, but it's closed, but there's no lock on it. So
I check
Well,
that for
that's
traps.
suspicious.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be trapped.
All right. I will
Stand out the room.
pop it open.
Inside, there is a plum-sized jewel made of translucent white crystal.
All right.
Oh,
I will look over my shoulder as Arvid runs away, and I'll just say, Arvid, can you come have a look at this? I don't know if it would be useful. And before, like as he's coming in, I try to. I don't want to steal it. If it's something that we may need to use to get around, I'd rather have it with us.
Well, I can take a look at it.
it was in a coffer. Perhaps it's an indication of payments we must make.
And I will take a look at the gem.
Are you going to pick it up?
That's not suspicious or anything.
Well, I just need to know if you're going to pick it up or just look at it.
Guys, no one's gonna grab it. I will.
I'll pick
Alright.
it up then.
All right, which one of you is going to pick it up?
Shoot, I will. Hell.
All right. Signet, make a wisdom saving throw.
You get a bonus now.
Take that back. Not a wisdom saving throw, just a wisdom check.
And you don't get a bonus.
You failed. Nothing happens, but you're just like, okay, it's a white crystal.
It's pretty.
It's warm. It's warm in your hand. That is what you can determine.
And it's warm.
May I?
Yeah, totally. Here you go.
Let the wise druid roll a wisdom check.
Yeah, you say that until he rolls a 1.
There you go. So, don't ask me how, but you
That is the best
posit-
way to start an explanation.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really understand. There's no explanation as to why you would know this, but holding the jewel and passing your wisdom check, you determine that this jewel is Zybilna's crystallized desire to show kindness to the destitute and unfortunate. Like, how would you know that? I don't know, but that's what you are able to glean from holding this, is that it's her desire to show kindness to the destitute and unfortunate. So I mean, you kind of get, I guess, you did have the Herringons who tried to steal your happy thoughts. So essentially, these are desires in a crystallized form of Zybilna. I mean, none of it makes sense, but it is what it is, right?
Well, I will not try to explain that to everyone.
Show us the sticker on the bottom that says that.
In China.
And instead it'll be, well, this is quite important, but, if I tried to explain it to you, you wouldn't understand. So, it's just important.
Is it important
Fair enough.
that we may need it to break her free? Important, or important that it stays in that coffer?
For
Well,
now,
I mean, if
we can take it with us.
yeah, I mean, if we fuck up, we can always try to put it back.
Right. Then there's nowhere else out of this room, Matt.
Nope.
Then, and if you don't want to move us again to a new level and then back again, I say we go back down. We go across the other one we saw and go up that tower.
That sounds good.
Agreed.
Instead of going map 1, map 2, map 1, map 2.
You're now on the other one, to the
Mhm.
left.
Oh wait, this one has more stuff, or more ways to go at least. All right.
Well, one more way to go.
Do we see any coffers in either of these rooms?
So in the first one up there, this. Okay, I gotta keep. Okay, so it's here, there's nothing.
Okay.
And the one above it, there is a short staircase. Can't talk. There is yet another enameled black coffer on a pedestal, in this case of living vines in the middle of the room.
I will once again check for any sort of traps.
Nothing.
Okay, and I will tell Arvid, same thing. This one doesn't appear to be trapped either. If you want to perhaps give this a shot.
I shall open the chest of living vines.
All right. And this coffer is a plum-sized jewel made of lustrous black crystal.
Yeah, assuming I understand what this could be, I pick it up.
Okay. And wisdom check. All right. And this appears to be Zybilna's crystallized desire to know what her enemies are plotting.
Yeah, just as important.
Right.
Is it the opposite of the white crystal?
No, just different.
Okay. I suppose should we go swap the crowns around now?
It's worth a shot.
Sorry, I was gonna say. So we have a clue that we might need the unicorn horn to free her. Do you think it needs to interact with these crystals in some fashion? And I pull out the unicorn horn.
Well, I can try it if you want.
We can keep them all in the same coffer for now.
I would wait. I think that if we found 2 of these, there's a chance there's more behind other doors with this statue being the key. Or more of those weird balls with the other statue being key, and I don't know if the unicorn horn will disappear.
I
That's a
think
good point.
Ragna's idea is most likely correct, where we're going to have to change the crown at some point. So we could go back down and continue looking, or go change it.
Well, there wasn't much left to see down there at the moment, right? We might as well go and change it.
Well, we could jump, as Callum said, we could jump across, although, and he kind of looks at Ragna, and just, some of us are wearing quite heavy armor. That might be difficult to jump in, so perhaps seeing if another way unlocks when we change the crown might be worth it.
I wonder when we change the crowns if the front door will close again.
That's a good question. I guess we'll
And
find out.
another one could open, and I mean, at the worst case scenario, we would just return the crown.
Let's everyone, if we're going to do the crown, everyone go back out front. I could run, go and grab the crown really quickly. As long as everyone's outside, none of us will be trapped apart from each other, so we can try to change the crown that way.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
What
Okay,
are the chances that this place changes enough that some people might have to stay inside when we swap the crowns?
I was thinking the same thing.
I'd like to at least see how it works first. Perhaps, like, what if we take it off of this one, and then when we put it on the next statue, what if we can no longer remove it?
All valid questions.
Hmm.
So if we do see that it is
I see.
possible to
Oh.
change it back and forth, then we can do that.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you all, but I've had a thought. God, how high up were those balconies on the towers?
30-ish feet.
I didn't know you were religious.
Incredibly. Those balconies might make for a halfway decent point of re-entry if we can get back up there.
Do we have a rope?
I do. Does anyone want to run up the stairs and secure it?
I have also a rope. I can run to the other side to secure it.
Sure, it'll be worth a shot at least.
I will take off my 50 feet of hempen rope and give it to someone.
Callum will take it because he doesn't have rope.
All right, it is all yours.
Ragnar will go to the opposite side of Callum and
Oh wait,
tie
no,
it
Callum
there.
does have a rope. Never mind. So he'll use.
Well, you
his
already
own.
have mine. I deleted it. So now you have two
Fine.
ropes.
We need one for each side anyway.
So yeah. So I will wait. William or Griswold will look at you all and say, "All right, well, once you guys get back from securing the ropes, I'll go grab the crown."
Of course.
Okay.
And Callum will go hurry off to secure a rope that's hanging over that ledge, so there's a way to climb back up to it. And then to make sure it's working, he'll try to climb down that rope instead of actually going back the normal way to make sure it'll support weight.
Ragnar will tie it on the other side, but not do that and just come back.
So wait, so you're doing just so I'm clear. So you guys are securing ropes to the balconies out here?
Well,
yeah, so we're going
on this-
in back
Okay,
up to the second floor.
Right. Going up the spiral staircases and then dropping a rope down. I got you. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, securing a
So-
rope, dropping it down, and then
Just in
Callum
case
at
this
least is going to
stays
come
locked.
down his rope to make sure it'll support enough weight.
All right. And once they're both back out front, I will run, grab the crown, and then head over to the other statue. But when I grab the crown, I'm assuming we hear this all close again.
Indeed, you do.
All right. So yeah, I will do that, and then I will go. I'm gonna run back by everyone. I'm just gonna say, all right. So we're sure I'm putting this on the other statue.
Yes.
For now, at least.
I just remember it saying something about if you put it on the wrong one, it'll crumble and not be able to be used anymore.
Crown was supposed to change to another crown that we'd be able to swap them around.
So it was
Yeah,
only the first
didn't
time
it
if it was
change-
incorrect.
Right. Because
Okay.
it is in a different form than when
It's
we
like
found
gold
it,
now instead
yes.
of wood or something, I think, right?
It's silver
Yeah.
and gold, essentially.
Okay.
It's not thorns though. So
Okay. All right, then I will run and put it on the other one.
All right, and actually, there are two doors that open up. There's one over here, on the left. Over here.
Over where?
Over here.
Ooh.
And there is another door that's up on that walkway.
On the hidden walkway.
Yes. But you can't.
Oh,
you
the
won't be
one
able
that,
to
like
see.
over here.
Yeah. So where the crown of wrath is, there's another door up on that sort of walkway as well. So you
Well,
have to
I
check
mean,
it there.
would
You
we
already-
even see that one open?
So that was the thing. So these didn't look like doors. So these were like, the map makes them look like doors. I guess probably just for sake of ease.
Yeah, convenience, but
They're like the wall essentially sort of like slides open here.
So I'm assuming the people down that stayed over here would have heard one on each side open, or will we have no idea that something opened up over the other way?
Well, from where you are, you can probably look. You could probably see.
Okay.
You could see the opening, especially like being further back. You could see it.
All right. Then let's go look around.
I presume this is her carriage.
Indeed. So this is the carriage house. The wall swings open to reveal a crystal carriage hitched to a pair of glass statues shaped like Pegasuses. Folded silk butterfly wings are attached to the roof of the carriage. Arvid would probably know, just from understanding who Zybilna is to some degree, use this carriage to travel to other locations within the Feywild. So Zybilna probably would have visited the Summer Court and Queen Titania, and Arvid would have seen that and seen this carriage be what brought her there. You can see that the carriage doors are sealed shut. There are no handles, hinges, or keyholes. Essentially being that this is again, Arvid probably would have seen how she would exit and enter it, which is via Misty Step, basically. How you get in and out of this thing. You can see that the crystal structure is mostly opaque, except there are some windows. And that if you guys want to do more investigation, you can do that. Of the room and the carriage.
I will just assist someone.
Probably don't need it.
Yeah.
And just to remind people, I can guide from 30 feet away.
Griswold, looking into the carriage through those windows, you can see that there is an ornate glass key resting on the seat inside. Based on what Arvid, and I'm just going to assume that what I just said, he said to you all, there appear to be two ways to get into this carriage. One, via a spell, such as Misty Step, or, breaking the windows.
Well, does anyone have a non-destructive way to get in here?
I do.
That seems like it would be preferable.
Well, I guess it depends on how tiring it would be. Granted, we're trying to rescue her. If we end up breaking a window, I don't think that would be the biggest of concerns.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're always saying non-violent this. I'm starting to feel a little targeted.
Merely that if we're going to meet a powerful archfey, breaking her things first does not seem like a wise decision.
Touche.
Well,
So, it's your call, Arvid.
I'll go on in. Just give me a minute, and I will cast Vortex Warp.
Fancy.
Ooh, who are you warping in?
Myself.
I don't think you can. Another creature you can see within range.
Yeah, around another creature, so it's not you.
Who wants to go in then?
I would like to go in. It
Okay.
has butterfly wings.
I will put my hand on Ragnar's shoulder.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Ragnar, you have that Crown of the Monarch, right?
Yes.
Is there any way that might interact with this carriage before you?
I only have one more use of it. I would rather wait to use it, but I can put it on without activating it, maybe.
It's worth a shot, at least.
He puts the charm on.
And I cast.
Yay!
Zoop, you move. So I wonder what does Vortex Warp look like? I wonder. Doesn't specifically say.
I kind of like a twisting black hole in one place and just reverse in the other place.
So like portal.
Yeah,
With the dark, evil portal.
sure.
It is from Strixhaven, so
Yeah, so it's Magic the Gathering.
yeah.
So,
The bigger issue now is I don't think we can get her out. She's gonna have to break out anyway.
It's a 90-foot spell range. You could cast it
Yeah,
again.
but she's in total cover. You can't target things behind cover even if
Well-
you can see them.
Oh, really?
so, Ragnar, you are inside,
Yep.
and you can now see this glass key.
Yeah, she'll pick it up and put it in her pocket and then just take a look around in there as well while she's in there.
All right, do an investigation check.
Investigation. She did good.
So, I would say then probably, not of any intentional purpose. You notice that as you get close to the windows, you start to see what appears to be a magical keyhole that appears as you get close, and then if you move back, it disappears. You didn't do it on purpose, but
She's gonna tilt her head and try the key she just got in there.
all right. Which way do you want to turn it? Clockwise or counterclockwise?
Oh,
These aren't
counterclockwise.
These are scary questions for a DM to be asking.
That's what happens when you're in the Feywild.
In this particular instance, it sort of jams. It doesn't turn that way.
And then she'll go clockwise.
Oh, such a fake out.
Well, not really a fake out. There are certain things that could have happened, but when you turn it clockwise, both doors, so doors on each side of where these windows are. Again, they didn't look like doors from the outside, but they both open up, and the glass Pegasuses sort of, they don't come to life necessarily because they don't turn into actual like living horses, but they become animated, and you can see that they start like stamping their hooves impatiently.
Regna lets out a little happy gasp and runs out and goes over to them.
You can see that there are reins made of starlight that appear around their necks. Because even though this doesn't show it, think of this as like the old like stagecoaches. So there's like a bench on the outside of it where like a driver would sit.
It's the pumpkin carriage.
It
except
is the
for
pumpkin
wings.
carriage, right? So they don't show a bench, but there is a bench that like you could sit on if you wanted to like drive the cart.
Arvid, do these Pegasi eat food?
Oh, and technically, since they become animated, I'm supposed to do this as well.
Oh.
They big boys.
No, they're animated. They're inanimate objects.
Regna's gonna put her hand out in front of one of them.
It doesn't seem to take much notice.
You might have to relock the doors.
Oh, okay. Regna goes around and sees if she can stick the key in the keyhole on the other side.
Which way do you want to turn it?
Counterclockwise.
You're boring. And that it does. Both the doors close and it locks, and the Pegasus reverts back to inanimate. So you've covered your tracks. Just now you have the key in your hand instead of it being inside.
I have a key.
Fortunately,
work.
that was the key to the carriage, I suppose. Though perhaps Arvid could have simply pulled you back out.
There's also a door to the north as well, as part of your investigation previously, Griswold.
Hold on to that key. We might be able to take the carriage around the top of the castle if we need to.
True.
That would be fun.
But let's stick to the doors first, shall we?
Oh, I can't wait to see which one of you lot forget all of this.
What? How? What?
I do seem to remember you mentioning some such thing.
Yes, when non-fey creatures leave the Feywild, they have a chance of forgetting everything they did there.
Ragnar looks very disappointed.
Well, to be fair, nothing super exciting is happening, so
Maybe you can ask Zabilna to keep your memories intact. But anyway, shall we?
Okay. It would also be nice to remember the dreams that we had.
As soon as she mentions the dreams, Griswold starts going towards the door.
Does not appear to be locked.
I
I
open
will-
the door.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
Are we not checking? I imagine this one likely leads to that other balcony.
Oh, yes.
It does.
No jumping required.
Though there is still one on the other side.
And
Oh, and now that we're here, there's another balcony, probably on the other side of that door, and another stairwell beyond that.
that's the hopes.
You're opening this door?
Yep, going up this way. Ooh, nice rug. And more sets of doors.
Opens the balcony door.
Ruin the non-combat vibe. It's a rug of smothering.
Actually, it's a good call because Callum, you're now in a rug of smuggling.
Ah!
Smothering.
Snuggling.
A
I'm in a rug of
I
snuggling.
said smuggling, but
I
it is
know.
smothering. Smothering,
It's
snuggling.
comfortable.
Hmm.
It was a good call though. So I mean, you called it, and now you have to deal with the consequences.
Lovely.
So we'll just go ahead and put on some fun
Can it
combat.
only wrap him? It can't get me too, right?
I will say actually it did not seem to be interested in Griswold.
Sounds good to me. All right.
This is like the first combat we've had in forever.
Put him out, Carpet, before I turn you into rags.
So what actually happens here?
Yeah, so let me pull up get everything squared away here. So essentially Griswold walked in across the rug and nothing happened. And as soon as Callum stepped on the rug, it snatched you up. And it actually attacks you as well, so you actually have to take damage from the beginning.
Okay.
So let me get that set up. So you are grappled,
Okay.
and stupidly, this doesn't roll its own damage for some reason, because of course it doesn't. So let's just do this. So you take 11 points, 2d6 plus 3
Ooh.
of bludgeoning damage, which also seems kind of strange, but there is no smothering damage, I guess.
2d6 plus 3, you said?
Yes.
So 12 damage.
Yes, because I can't add. So 12 damage indeed. And you are grappled. You are restrained, blinded, and at risk of suffocating as well.
I see.
And at the start of each of your turns now as well, so this was just the attack. At the start of your turn, you'll take 2d6 plus 3 again. So everybody just roll initiative. 'Cause now we're in
Oh
it.
shit.
Ooh,
Battle.
not as cool as
These things
getting
usually
eaten by a
this
hag.
particularly deadly.
Being swallowed by a hag is pretty.
I don't want to
terrifying.
brag, but mine might have been cooler. I got vomited up.
I won't argue with that. I might get killed by a rug.
No, you'll be fine.
Like that's not Dungeons and Dragons. That's just a bad moving accident.
Yes. Well, Griswold, you were right on it when it because I guess you were kind
Yeah.
of standing on it. You would have seen it sort of pull up under your feet, and you saw
All right.
Callum get jumped on.
All right. So immediately one hand has the short sword out, the offhand has the dagger out, and I am going to do my best to just not hit the part that is clearly Callum. So I will take a slash across it with my short sword. 19.
Yeah.
So that's 11 plus sneak attack. Well, wait, do I get sneak attack since he's inside of it?
I mean,
Well, I guess
Johan's next to it, and
Johan's here
so
too.
is.
And
Okay.
Arvis was close enough, I think.
Okay, so 11 plus 12. And then I will try to stab at an area that is, once again, not wriggling with Callum with my offhand dagger.
Yep.
And even though I'm a rogue, I don't get my dex added onto the damage, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because it's my offhand.
Yeah.
Right.
You need to be a fighter with the right fighting style for that.
Yeah. Okay. So, so then a total of 25 points of damage.
Or a ranger, I guess.
So that being the case, it takes damage, but there's unfortunately no way you can really get around it. So Callum, you take half that damage.
Okay, so I take half of 25.
So you take 12.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Don't
That just
you
got a
just
little
hear
more serious.
as you're getting stabbed and
That's okay.
slashed. Don't worry, we'll help you. You
Yeah.
get stabbed.
Yeah, I mean, the
Someone
rug's not that
decided,
thick, so...
someone decided to throw Callum a blanket party, apparently.
Yes. All right, Johan. I assume that Griswold doesn't want to move.
No, I am staying right here.
Sorry. I'm going to seeing the attack also hit Callum. I am going to go and cast Cure Wounds on him. And hold on, something else happens here. So hold on, I pick an additional target within 60 feet, so I'm gonna pick the carpet, and it has to make a Constitution saving throw or take equal damage of necrotic. Or half as much if it succeeds.
What's your DC?
That is a good question. I think it's 15. Hold on. What's something that DC is here? Yeah, 15.
It fails.
Okay, so it takes 5 necrotic, and then I can also use the necrotic damage to heal Callum an additional point. I think it is.
So this is going to be weird math, because no matter whatever damage you do to it, Callum takes half of it.
Bill?
Yes.
Goddamn.
Okay. So I got healed for 8?
For 6. You got healed for 6. But then you took... Well, it rounds down, right? So you took 2 points of damage, so you heal for 4.
Yeah, overall heal for 4.
So I think yes. So it's a net gain, but
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to find where those numbers are because I don't see them.
He healed you for 5. He
Okay.
can do that much damage in turn to the rug,
Which means I take 2.
Takes 2, and then you got healed 1 extra from the necrotic damage he did.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
so that's why it's weird. But it's a net gain.
Apparently, necromancer things.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the weird thing about this is what I was talking to Matt. Like once I hit this level, I think healing might get. So I have a feature where when I deal necrotic damage, I gain health equal to 1/3 of the damage dealt. But at level 6, I get an ability where basically any damage I deal, I can turn into necrotic, and I can pass that healing on to another target within 60 feet. So
yeah,
Nice.
that's potential nerf territory, but we don't know yet. We'll just have to see how it
Yeah.
works.
But anyway,
Sure.
so that's my turn.
So it is Ragnar's turn.
Ragnar will run in from the balcony, come over here, and slash at said rug twice with her longsword. once failing miserably. And does the
Yes.
13 hit?
Does.
I'm sorry, that double crit one has to skewer him.
Well, no, because
So-
if she skewers him, that means she must have hit the rug too. So
So Callum takes 6.
Yep.
And she's going to stay there.
And you're with the fail, I'd imagine that Callum's clothes, although apparently not the best, the nicest. They're probably got a bunch of holes in them now too. You've been stabbed
I've
with
been
daggers.
stabbed 3 times.
So
well, I mean, you're about to die because it's gonna be Signet's turn soon.
Nah,
well,
not even
it-
close.
it's the rug's turn, and so it's going to continue to just smother you. It doesn't specifically give a time frame as to how long you have. I assume it would be that the time that you have to hold your breath, which is a really long time before
Yeah.
you are suffocated.
At least, I believe, even if you're like, oh, you're out of breath, then it's turns equal to like 1 plus your con modifier, so I have like 5 rounds.
And now you take 11 more.
Ah,
And it is Signe's turn. And then it'll be your turn where you'll take another 2d6. Because it's technically the start of your turn. So yeah.
Aster, hey. Stupid fucking carpet making me wait this whole time! Take out my woodcutter's axe, and I'd like to enter a rage.
Alrighty. Unfortunately, this is not a plant, so you don't get the extra damage from your axe, but
It doesn't matter, it's a new axe. That's the point.
and you can get to attack twice now, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Mhm.
can. Had to hit my rage modifier.
Oh,
It's a lot of damage.
Hold on.
So
that I'm unconscious.
So that's 29 damage. Am I doing that math right?
I'm counting. Yeah, I'm counting 11. What's the extra 2d6 for?
Plant
from
and
the-
plant and wood, basically.
Gotcha. Also, aren't you a zealot?
Yeah.
So the first hit should also do extra radiant damage.
Yep.
1d6 plus half
Plus-
your barbarian level.
Yep.
So
Are
plus
we about to kill
2?
Callum?
Do it.
So 1d6 plus
Roll the 5.
2? 'Cause
3,
No, you're the
'cause-
6 was 3.
Yeah.
Plus 8.
So 8 and 2 is 10. So the first one's 19. So I take 9.
So it's 37 total. So you
And
would
then-
take 18. You take 18 points of damage. Total.
Oh yeah. There we go. I am at 2. It rolls 2d6 against me at the start of my turn.
It does indeed. You are going to be unconscious.
But I'm not yet.
And it won't kill you, because it's certainly not going to do your full amount of health on a 2d6.
True.
So Signe, are you going to move any, or are you just going to take that ridiculous amount of damage right off the bat there? That's crazy. I love it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait here and prep to catch him in my arms if I can.
All right. So it would be your turn, but we know what's going to happen. So
There we go. I get knocked unconscious on my turn. I don't have to make a death save yet, at least.
correct. So it is Arvid's turn.
So, I'm stood here watching a carpet suffocate someone, and everyone around them just beat the ever-loving shit out of him.
Yeah.
And Arvid is going to turn his hand backwards, so it's the outer part of his hand, and just knuckle tap on the carpet and cast a spell magic.
It has to make a Constitution saving throw. What's your spell DC? 15?
15.
Fails.
So the carpet's no longer an animated carpet.
It's just an unconscious Callum with like half a dozen stab wounds.
It did not stop moving fast enough. I want to take one more swing.
So that's the thing. So the way that this actually works, this is the way it's described. So they do have anti-magic susceptibility. It failed its saving throw, so it falls unconscious for 1 minute. So you guys can continue to pummel it after you get Callum out of it, if you would like.
Yes.
All right, we'll get Callum out, and then instead of anything else, Griswold will just bundle up the rug, and I'm gonna just I'm throwing it over the ledge, and I'm gonna walk over to the balcony and throw it.
No, I want to finish killing it.
Do a strength check real quick. If you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
All right. It's pretty heavy. It's kind of a pain in the butt to drag it.
Oh,
Oh, look at that! Now you don't
Callum!
even need the main heal because you're conscious again. All right, so you take the rug of smothering and you throw it off the balcony into the abyss.
I like how the complete different approach in the party is like, let's all beat the shit out of it. Tap.
What can any of us do that's magic? Well, I mean,
I know, that was the point. Like, I created a whole... It's called the Age of Arcanum, and everybody's like, I'm going to use a sword. Forget magic. I mean, to be fair, most of you do actually have the ability to cast at least some kind of spell, but...
So,
Callum stands
Ragna
up.
will say, I'm not taking no for an answer, and puts her hands on you and uses lay on hands for 15 points.
I can.
She
All right.
didn't.
I like
All
it.
right.
Everyone else
that
is
was
using
fun.
their healing, and I'm just here not using healing spell slots or my balm of the core.
I would say
instead of
Callum also
stabbing-
has a short rest recharge heal.
Signe's gonna march over.
He actually
to
has 6 of them.
If you need more assistance, let me know.
Signe's just gonna march over here to the separate balcony and just scream into the fucking void.
Well,
You stole my kill!
Callum will just start bandaging himself up while this is happening.
it might have been me, but it kind of looked like you all wanted to really kill him just then.
I certainly got that feeling in a few places.
I'm sorry, I didn't notice until I attacked again. I'm gonna say that's what the 2 nat 1s were for.
Yes. And Callum's and your clothes are in tatters. As if any worse than they would have been before.
Yes,
Probably stained with blood, too,
that's
since you
new.
were stabbed. But the actual wounds are gone. At least some of them, partially.
You need more
Hello?
healing?
No, I'll be fine. I think that should be sufficient for a while.
Callum, I am sorry I almost turned you into jerky.
But you didn't, and that's what counts.
Hands go back in the pocket.
God damn it, Arvid, you and your sneaky magic.
I do appreciate the quick thinking, Arvid.
Well, it was a carpet, so I assumed it would work. No guarantee, though.
I finally had a chance to fight something.
There will be more chances. Signe.
Oh.
Would
when
you
I
like?
open this door.
Would you like to fight Griswold's crippling depression?
If you can make that incarnate, I would love to.
So this door, to your left here, you do see actually has a lion emblem on it. So you know that this is controlled by Envy, which is the currently who has the crown on. So the door does open for you. And within this, you see everything within this tower appears to be frozen in place.
Sorry, go.
There's a 5-foot wide ledge that is going around the room, and there are a row of iron levers on the back wall, and about 5 feet below the ledge is the surface of a pool of reeking sludge. There are 5 slender gilded cages dangling from chains that hang down from holes in the 60-foot high ceiling. 3 cages are occupied, suspended in midair. Each cage, suspended in midair outside of each cage is a pixie holding a tiny gilded wand. But everything's frozen in here.
All right, so
Okay. Sorry, I want to look up on the ceiling and make sure there aren't any like jellies or oozes hanging out there.
They're not.
Okay.
all right, so real quick, Matt, just are these also cages that they're just occupied, or is there not a cage under like?
Yeah, so
Because-
there is right there, right here, and
Okay.
right here. Those
Okay,
are
so
Because
there's
when you said
2
six, or
points.
when you said however many, I
Yeah,
didn't see it. I
so-
only saw the 2.
Yeah, see,
5
they're-
cages
they're-
and 5 levers.
yeah, they're on the cages. Yes.
I will pull a lever. and see
As
if
soon as I see him reaching for that, I get out of the splash range of the slime.
I'm gonna say Ragnar's not smart enough to realize as quick.
Which one do you pull?
if you're
We'll-
looking
we'll
from
say-
top to
Yeah,
bottom, I'll say 5.
we'll stop. So that we'll start at the top. So we'll say that's 1, and then down to 5.
I'll pull 5 since it's the closest, and I'm assuming it lowers the cages.
It does actually. It lowers this cage with this dude in it.
Like slowly, or does it just like slam it down?
Let me see which one this is.
And I'll stop it from lowering once it gets like, a couple feet over the pool so that we can kind of like reach out to it or whatnot.
Yeah, so it goes. It's not super fast, but it does start to lower into the sludge.
Okay. Yeah, I want to stop it before it goes in the sludge. And then can I get some help over here?
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Ragnar tries to reach.
Can I want to
You
put
probably can't reach it.
something. I want to take out a dagger and put it, like the blade, in the sludge to see if it's caustic or corrosive or anything like that.
Well, it does look kind of bubbly.
It does, but it could just be like hot springs,
For some reason, I doubt that.
In my experience, caustic chemicals are not necessarily those that have such an effect.
Well, I guess putting the knife in there doesn't. It doesn't look good, but it doesn't destroy the blade. This is also probably not any sort of. It doesn't look like, sludge that any of you have ever seen. It's not like it's oil or, it's not like swamp water. None of you would have seen anything quite like this, and you've definitely never smelled anything quite like this.
I'll tell you what,
Can
this is unique.
can Ragnar try to use one of her javelins to reach out, hook it against the cage, and pull it closer to us?
I've got a better idea if you're willing to wait a few minutes.
Ragnar just looks at you, like, stretched out with her javelin. Is like, oh, okay. And steps back.
Like, looking at the pool, it does look liquid-like, correct?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some. It's a bit sludgy, but yes, it does look like you could submerge something in it.
Then I'm going to pull out a piece of cork, and over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to start, like, prodding it and carving and doing some sigils into it. And at 10 minutes, I'm just going to squeeze and blow the dust on everyone.
What
And,
a lot.
and I'm ritually casting Water Walk.
Ragna sneezes.
Well, now you can do this. And I'm literally going to walk on the water.
Oh, perfect. I'll start lowering the other cages.
So you can start getting people out before they submerge.
I will point out that it does. You are still touching the stuff.
It's fine.
We'll be quick.
As it was harmless solid ground.
Yeah, but read on. Creatures crossing molten lava can still take damage from the heat. I'm assuming that would extend to acid. If that's what it is.
It is not acid. And you would not take any acidic damage from it.
Well,
Yeah,
Okay.
but
I'm
the heat
just
from lava, it's because of proximity. It's not because you're still touching
yeah,
lava.
that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, in this instance, though, I mean, you're not getting any. You all know without this is you just know it. This is not acid. It doesn't smell like acid, look like acid. But I will say, you would notice that the one that's closest to Ragnar and Signa, notice that that's human. The people in the other cages are not human.
Well, this one's a human. Those other ones aren't.
I
But
suppose we just get them all out.
I don't see why not. And then maybe I can have the fight I want.
Well, we can also move the pixies out the way.
Yeah, we should probably do that too.
Okay.
And I lower all of the cages from 5 to 1.
I'll go to whatever cage starts moving first.
Callum's gonna watch.
This lasts an hour and we all can walk. So,
You would know that you'll notice when these are down here, the cages have no doors or locks.
Okay, how
only-
much to bend them?
Well, you can attempt that, but you would have to do a strength check for it.
And never mind.
So which one are you going to attempt to open up?
The first occupied one that comes down.
So that would be this guy right here.
Okay, yeah, bend it open, move him out.
can I make an observation?
Sure.
Well, there seems to be 5 pixies with, like, golden wands and 5 cages.
Yeah.
I mean, do I need to spell that one out for you?
I mean, you've done for the rest of them, so why not?
I'm assuming the wands actually open and close the cages.
But what do you mean I can't solve this with stupid root strength?
I mean, she actually, with a 24, it's a really high DC, but nice. It's lower than a 24. I mean, she is able to bend the bars on that particular cage anyway.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it's just pointing out that 5 wands, 5 pixies, 5 cages.
It's a good observation, but in this particular instance, it wasn't necessary.
Wow, good job, Signe. I would not have thought that we could have done that. Very
Well,
impressive.
thank you. Yes, thank you.
So I assume that you're going to move this guy up onto the.
Yeah, into safety.
Also, just pointing out, if they're all frozen in time, the same way Zabilna was, that most likely means that they were put here by her. So we're kind of releasing people that she had captive.
You know what? Yeah, I didn't quite think about that. Should I put them back?
It might be best not to meddle, especially. Callum's gonna look at these two. What do these two look like?
I guess do a nature check. I mean, this guy here.
nature, you say?
Looks. Yeah. Okay. So, this guy looks like a high elf. This guy looks like a demon of some kind.
You know, Callum, you make a good point.
So that's what that guy looks like.
Yep.
Oh, he looks like me when I wake up.
Looks like what are they? The bombers in Left 4 Dead, or not Left 4 Dead.
The boomers and like Gears of War.
It's in oh crap. It's the Steam game.
Yeah, it's Left 4 Dead.
Is it Left 4
That's
Dead?
right.
Left 4 Dead 2, the boomers that go in there and explode on everybody? That's what the big
Yeah.
fat guys? Yeah, okay. With a 20, they're called manes. Like a horse's mane.
Yeah. They're a type of devil or demon?
They are demons.
Type of demon, that one. At the very least, imprisoning things on a relativistic scale to that. I'm not sure any of these are things we want out and roaming around.
Okay, Ragna, put that one back and try to bend the bars back.
And yourself?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Signe. Meh. Can Ragna look in this one to see if there's anything inside?
Yeah. The other ones are empty. It's just these three.
Yeah, I'll mush the bars back as close as I can to original form.
Yeah, do another strength check. Obviously, you're going to weaken the bars by bending them multiple times, but... It looks secure. They look kind of straight.
I mean, I'll put them all back like 60 feet in the air again. And
All right.
then-
Yeah, just push them all the way up to as high as they'll go.
Yeah. That one in
Mistake
particular.
made.
Well, then,
That guy
shall
did
we-
just look like a human, but...
Oh, and I'll put all the pixies back.
All right, so we'll pretend you didn't go into that room.
Basically.
All right, so there's the door to the north, and it is also not locked. No lion's head or anything on it.
No carpet.
Attempting to open. All right, we got more doors and more stairs.
So
And
just
another-
these two doors here that you can see in this hallway, right here and here, they both have the lion's head on them. So you know
Okay.
they in theory could open.
Okay, I will push this one open.
Gentlemen, I see something.
Oh,
I don't know
Is
if
there
we're
a-
supposed to see that.
is there just a body floating in midair?
There are so many. There are literally 4 different pages for this map. So let me find where that is on this, and I'll tell you what you see.
Looks like a guy with a helmet.
Yeah.
Like a pirate.
He's not a pirate.
He's a
Um,
butt pirate. Arr.
So there appears to be a man in armor. I will give you a closer look here. Probably a knight rather than a pirate. Appears to be suspended in air. He's actually above you, so this is not parallel to you. He's actually floating up in the air. He's closer to. If you, I think, Callum, you can probably see that there's a balcony there. He's more parallel to that, so we would be up the stairs to get to that balcony. You would assume. And yeah, he's suspended. He's not moving, so it doesn't look like he's in any particular like pain or anything like that. But he is floating, suspended out in this storm.
And you said not moving, like ragdoll or like petrified.
Probably just kind of petrified. You get the impression that if the time freezing effects were to dissipate, he would just fall to his death at this point.
Well, what is it?
There's a person up there. Seem to be frozen like the other ones, but they don't look like they have any means of flight. There's a bit of debris around them. They're near this balcony.
Oh, did they take a plunge, you think?
It's certainly a concern that if we set things back as they were, he might.
Can fly over there and get him.
We
Well,
can also try to lasso him.
That's what I was thinking.
by
Oh, he's far
Callum, by
away.
your previous logic, wouldn't he be there because Zabilna put him there?
I'm not so convinced. He seems as if he was in motion when whatever happened here happened.
Well, should we
The
continue?
caged creatures were probably caged already when time was frozen, but I'm less convinced in this case.
Well, just he's not going anywhere. Should we continue with what we were doing?
Well, I mean, if we unfreeze time, that guy is screwed.
My thoughts exactly. And the
Well-
whole time that Callum's having this conversation with people, he still has a 50-foot rope. I don't know if he has much to throw it.
Here, take mine.
You know what? He does not have a great throwing arm, but he does have a sling. So he will.
Griswold's gonna kind of look at both of them and just, how do you think he was there before?
He fell.
Or he was able to traverse? He could possibly fly. He could.
Or
There's
he
no
was
reason to
thrown from that balcony. As I said, there's quite a bit of rubble around it as well.
Matt,
Looking
is he
at-
frozen like in a falling way, or does it look like he's like upright and stuff?
He looks relatively upright, but it's hard
Damn,
to say.
Arvid doing the interesting things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna calm everyone down. I'm just gonna bring him over here.
Appreciated, Arvid.
And I will open this door. Acha.
And in this door, you actually see someone. That's new.
So hold on, I've got dynamic lighting blocking like this, and the pews are causing
They're not
blocks.
pews. They
Oh.
are
Bookshelves.
bookshelves.
Okay.
Oh, I do see someone now.
So, this does appear to be a library. Leather-bound tomes fill the tall shelves of this grand library. Rolling ladders anchored to the rails above the topmost shelves allow easy access to the higher books. Appearing from behind a bookshelf is an elderly, hunchbacked man carrying an open book. And he looks at all of you and says, "The library is closed to visitors." And he snaps the book closed, making no effort to hide his sort of surprise and annoyance that you are here.
You're not frozen, old man?
That seems like a silly question, doesn't it?
No, that was more of a statement of surprise. Entirely rhetorical. You don't have to be an ass.
Do you know what happened here? Why are so many people frozen in time?
He just sort of staring at all of you sort of unbelievingly that you're even here.
We apologize for the intrusion. It's we had come seeking the master of the house and found it in this condition. You're actually the first we've met who could respond in any way. No doors.
You'll have to, whoever would like to, you're gonna have to convince him to talk to you, because he continues to just tell you to get out, and that essentially no one may peruse the books without Zabilna's consent.
Well, Regna will kind of step forward, her hands up, trying to be like as unassuming as possible, and just say, "Please, we're here to help Sibilna in this palace, and we'll try to persuade." with guidance.
Yeah,
That's
just assume
fun.
if you're within 30 feet of me, you're probably being guided.
You seem unfair most of the time. Just very convincing. So yeah, he will sort of shrug, kind of sigh a little bit. This is who you're looking at here. This doesn't really look like a man to me, but it is. Introduces himself as Sean, Shon. Um, explains initially that the reason that he was spared the time freeze is because of the nature of the library itself, which is essentially demi-planar. So you're kind of not in the same place that you were before you entered.
At that, Regna would look around and kind of wonder, like, wow, we went to a new plane, sort of.
I'd like to say I understand that, but sadly it's a bit beyond me. In any case, do you know what exactly happened to the other tenants of the building?
I'm pretty sure you've seen what happened to them.
Yes, allow me to rephrase that. The cause of that.
Well, that would be Zabilna's sisters. They
She has
come and
sisters?
go, always plotting against her.
Is there any... do you know if there's a way to reverse this freezing?
There are potential things that might be of use. I have perused the homes within my library here and have found nothing. However, Zabilna does keep some of her more prized tomes in a different area of the palace. I could potentially give you a list of the things that you would want to look for.
That would be good.
And yes, he would say frozen if you bring him in there. So he will start writing a list, and there's your list.
Ow!
By the way, do you happen to know who this is? I'll point to the man I just dragged into the library.
Just looking to see if he would know this guy is. I don't know him personally, but I can assure you he's not a friend.
Does that mean we should just push him back over the...
No. Perhaps one of the cages?
Oh yes, we can put him in a cage.
I will go and take care of that while they finish doing things with the old man and getting the list.
You have to do a string check to get a cage open. So you might want to take Signa with you.
Or just choose a wand.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Arvid's suggestion and try to get one of the wands from the pixies and put him into an empty
Yeah,
cage.
you actually have to know the spell that they cast, though. Having the wand's not enough.
I swear, since we come here, you have allowed me to have no fun!
Digne, I need you to come open this cage.
Yay!
I'll lower that one and try to toss him in there after Signe attempts to open it.
So 2 strength checks. One to open, one to close.
Can I assist her on both?
I mean, yeah. Wow, you would have failed both of them. Try different cage. That one's too hard. And do it do it with advantage, as he's going to help you. There you go. Definitely able to open it with a 22 and
There we
get it
go.
mostly closed with a 19.
Good
Again, you
job,
probably want to
Signe.
raise him all the way up though, just in case.
Yeah, back to 60 feet or whatnot.
Finally, I was helpful. Okay, let's go back to our boring existence.
You're always helpful, Signe. And I'll pat your
Thank
shoulder
you.
as I walk off.
So you said that you're interested in freeing the queen.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, I can tell you that there are a few things that you might be on the lookout for.
Oh, please.
I believe that the Jabberwock has returned, and the Jabberwock does make its lair within the ballroom, so keep an eye out for that.
Oh,
Okay.
Noted.
There was a man who was here named Kellic. He appeared to be in league with Zabilna's sisters. I don't know if he was part of the freezing or if he's still roaming around, but I have not left the safety of my library to check. He has a flaming sword, so that would certainly be something to signify who he is.
Be sure to dispatch him if we find him.
Well, he sort of raises an eyebrow. She's like, well, he is a mercenary, so it is also possible to attempt to just buy him off.
oh, I thought I could get a shiny new toy.
Or perhaps reason with him.
No fun. Just kind of kicks at the ground with her toe.
And the only other thing I know potentially about reversing any of this is not something that you would do as a one size fits all thing. There are rumors or things that I've read anyway related to a unicorn horn that you could potentially just touch someone who is frozen with the horn, and that might free them.
A question about the particular one. We actually know the whereabouts of a unicorn. Would it work more than once?
I don't see why not.
Good to know. We appreciate the help.
Also, just as a quick FYI, if you happen to, although I don't know which way you came in, there's a hallway with a magical rug. If you aren't carrying a white crystalline rose, it will probably attack you.
Oh, it's gone.
Callum, just kind of gestures to all the bandages and stuff he's wrapped himself in.
He just sort of my apologies.
It's
And now you'll at least know why Griswold didn't get attacked by it, because he happens to be carrying a white rose.
fine. It will heal, as most things do. In any
And
case,
I would certainly be. And he sort of looks around at you. I don't suppose any of you are scholars of magic. It kind of doesn't look like any of you really fit the bill.
Well, I,
Griswold will poke his head around and say, I know a bit about magic. I can't do it, but I do know some.
see, I have a understanding I can use it.
You could
Well-
call me a fist wizard.
I
Noted.
believe Arvid would be likely your best bet, followed by Griswold.
It depends.
Although, Ragnar,
nature
and
for him.
Actually, yes, Johan and Ragnar, you both also use magics, yes?
Do any of you study magic out of books or use some sort of innate magic users?
No.
I, I've paid attention to arcane magics, especially with magical items and such. I do have some knowledge on it. I do have Arcana proficiency.
I am just a druid from the courts.
Well, I just have some unique spells that I've acquired over the years that I was willing to share, but it doesn't seem that any of you would be able to make much use of them. Basically, he has spells in a spell book that he could give to a wizard, but
No one's a wizard.
Well, I mean,
What spells?
you're super generous. Thank you.
We appreciate it. But we should probably be back to looking for Zybilna.
And I did have one other question about the unicorn horn. Does it have to be attached to the unicorn to work?
he sort of raises an eyebrow. Chuck, well, that would be a bit difficult. So it would just be the horn.
Right. Okay. And then Griswold will just look over. I think it's Johan that has it, and just say, "Can I see the horn really quick?"
I will hand over the horn.
And I'll say, look at the librarian once more and say, "You said this one wasn't a friend, yes?"
Oh, that person's already in a cage.
Yep. They took him down and put him in one of the cages.
Oh, okay. So
Yep.
so yeah. I will suggest we go back and maybe we don't. Yeah. So Riddle, perhaps we could go. Not even talk with the.
I would say try that horn on a pixie.
Yes, on the pixies, not on the captors.
But what if it's
Exactly.
one-time use?
I say we wait until
The smart
we
guy
can
said it wouldn't be only one time.
He said he didn't think it would be one.
Hey, if his boss can't get unfrozen because it's his dumbness, that's not on us.
I
Also, real
personally
quick,
feel.
sorry,
Go ahead.
because Johan asked this, just to, he has some really usable spells in his spell book that you could get. Charm Person, Cone of Cold, Counterspell, Dark Vision, Detect Magic, Fireball, Fly, Greater Invisibility, Ice Storm, Knock, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, Misty Step, Polymorph, Remove Curse, Shield, Suggestion, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
There's a lot of good
so-
stuff in there.
A lot of
ever-
good stuff in there.
If we ever pick up a wizard in the group, we'll have to bring him back here.
Y'all
No,
should have
dude.
let Callum die.
Well, the next character I play again, I have to go back to it. I haven't played one in too long.
That's probably the best NPC spell book I've seen.
Short of the ones like in Mad Mage where it's like this person just has every spell of a certain level, yes.
All right, so yeah, sorry, that was. Continue. I just wanted to because
It's
maybe
a
I
very
should-
good spell book.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I am personally of the opinion that we should wait until we release Zybilna first.
I agree.
If things are still frozen at that point, her discretion on what we release would be appreciated.
Right.
And also, take a look at it might prove important. Take a look at the books that he wrote down for you to go and look for.
But thank you very much
I
for
looked through
your
all of them.
information. Ragna is going to remember we have to give and take, and we'll hold out Scatterleaf tea for him.
He sort of just takes it in his hand and kind of acknowledges the gesture and thank you. I would say that probably anybody who's looking at the list, what would jump out the most is probably the second book, simply because
It's about
Igwilv, which you already know, you were potentially looking for Igwilv's Cauldron. So that's where it would jump out at you probably. Also, the fact that she wrote the Demonomicon, which is pretty cool.
Well, then that one first.
So, where do you guys want to go?
Keep going.
I would say going up these other stairs have proved fruitful. Do we want to check these ones while we are here?
Sure.
Sure.
I like how no
Um,
one's trying to put 2 and 2 together.
Mm.
I'm not gonna move you to the map because it's the same thing. You're just gonna be in a thing, just
Yep.
a little. But I will tell you what you find there.
Rob, you talking about that we're not looking for the books in the library?
Oh, I'm totally reading them.
No, just
No,
just the names of the.
The
Yeah.
books are those books he specifically said are not in this library. He told you
Uh,
I'll
those
go look
books
for
are
'em.
in her private library. So you could be going over and looking at the look. I mean, like they're all pretty interesting things. So like you got the last one on there, the prophecies of Expletica Defilis, instructions for building a magic vessel that can float safely through the layers of the abyss. Like that's pretty hardcore stuff. Let me
Yeah, thing
pull
is,
this
there's
up.
Night Bloom. Let's see.
So
What's a Naga?
Isn't that a snake person?
it's like a snakefish person.
I was looking for more in character.
Kind of like a
thing.
creepy land mermaid thing with like a snake body and lower half instead of a fish.
I think that was an in-character question.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Gotcha. So going
Thank
up
you
those
for
stairs,
explaining that.
there is a another black coffer, also with actually I was looking at the wrong one. Wow, they labeled this really stupidly. Actually, they labeled this not stupidly. They labeled this incorrectly. The label on this one is the same one that you were in before. They're both had the same number and everything on it. So that I'm gonna have to make this up because they didn't do the right thing. So, but in this case, you do find in this case, it's a red coffer that is resting on a pedestal of rotting wood in the middle of the room.
And I assume I go in, pick it up, and same as usual.
All right. So in this case, it is Zabilna's crystallized desire to punish those who have wronged or defied her.
Yep, and I still wouldn't tell her anyone what we are.
All right. But there are no other entrances or exits from that tower.
All right. That one leads back to the library.
Yes,
Yes, it
I
does.
believe so.
So you got spiral stairs up. You have this door here, which has the stag. They're called hearts. They call them hearts, but I'm going to call it a stag because that's what it is. There's a stag on that door.
Okay, we have
Plenty
to come
more
back
doors
to
to
that
here.
one.
Plenty more to try. If you
There's
don't mind
a
me saying,
stag on this
it's-
door too, but the other
Oh.
two are not.
All right, try the other two, I suppose.
Want to do it on the count of 3? We open both at the same time.
Okay.
I
3.
don't think I can do that with dynamic lighting. Hold on a second. Let me find where this leads.
There also seemed to be a door back in the room with the spiral stairs.
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out where there's so much going on this map. All right,
Magnus-
so which doors are you opening? because this one has a stag on it, so it will not open.
Oh.
You can
Well,
open this one. Ragnar will open this one.
3. If we just both throw them open at the same time.
Yes.
Whoa, that's a lot. Shit, I'm gonna close that door.
It's all frozen.
No.
So it's not. So as you open this, for Ragna doesn't see much. She just sort of sees an opening and then some weird stuff on the left hand side. Signe and then Callum and well, pretty much all of you, the rest of you can see down this hallway, and it appears to be a grand ballroom. And you can see that there's a lot of like splintered remains of doors, and looks like there's some like the walls have been knocked down a little bit, so you can sort of see through various rooms. There are royal courtiers that are all motionless, their eyes fixed on a black cauldron atop a dais in the middle of the chamber. There are dark vapors rising from the cauldron, and a huge dragon-like monster is coiled around it.
Yeah, I immediately had closed the door. Let's
The
not.
dragon's body twitches slightly, and its closed eyelids flutter as it dreams. Throughout the ballroom, or I'm sorry, there are 2 figures, frozen statue-like, off to one side of the cauldron. A imperious middle-aged woman with long white hair and white robes, and a younger woman clad in armor wearing a white cape. The older woman is reaching desperately toward the cauldron, while the armored woman at her side is grasping a fine-looking quarterstaff. And it is, of course, the Jabberwock that is coiled around the cauldron. And
Matt, before that door closes, am I able to identify the people?
a second here. The way that they have this set up, very weird. So this here, is everybody seeing my ping here?
Yeah.
That appears to be Zabilna, and this appears to be that other woman.
So does the door close?
Yeah, you can close it. I just have to put the thing back on.
Since Griswold was in the back, he's gonna kind of look and just say, what's going on? Why is it closed?"
There's not much on my side, and she also looks back.
I will signal for everyone to get back to the other end of the hallway.
Alright.
Is
I'm
Ragnar
sure-
gonna close her door?
Yeah, she'll close it slowly, kind of curiously, and then go over.
Is Zabilna in there?
Yes, and she's stood right next to the cauldron, which is currently being sat upon by a Jabberwock.
Yeah, I figured that out real quick.
Is it? Is the Jabberwock hers? Isn't that is it her pet?
That's what we were told.
Yes, but the pet doesn't know us.
Well, we have the horn. I'm very quiet. Why don't I just try to go sneak in and wake Zabilna?
I apologize. I missed a thing that I should have described to you. As far as the unicorn is concerned, that Sean would have told you. It's not as simple as touching somebody with the unicorn horn and then them just waking up. As Arvid, I think, mentioned at the very beginning of all of this, when he was telling you about things to keep an eye out for in the Feywild, you have to touch the person with the unicorn horn and speak their true name, which is a very important and powerful thing in the Feywild.
Alright. Do you know her true name?
I do.
Right.
Wait,
But
how did you know that?
I can't tell you because that's not mine to tell.
Okay.
So, it's more than likely I'm going to have to be the one to awaken her.
Well, we could distract the Jabberwock if he awakens. We won't harm
Oh my god.
it.
I could distract a Jabberwock.
Just
Please.
don't harm him. He's a pet, remember? Hit him with the blunt
Ragna,
end.
are your eyes working? That's not a pet. That's a guard dog.
Right, I'll just turn invisible and Jesus Christ.
Who?
Don't worry about it.
I'm kind of worried.
Why can't you just let me fight something?
You don't want to fight the Jabberwock.
But I do.
Well, if you do, and you somehow manage to kill it, then you're going to have a problem of a powerful archfey probably not being happy with you.
I didn't say I had to kill it. I definitely want to conquer it.
You can conquer a bear when we get back.
We can conquer the other hags once we freeze the Bilna.
Yeah, so don't run away again.
I doubt she'll let that happen after all of this.
Okay, so we stay back and Arvid goes invisible and touches her with a horn.
Griswold kind of just looks around. I'm much quieter than you.
True.
Yeah, but that means you have to get him there.
But that would require sharing information that it's already made clear you're not.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know her true name, and that's not something I can share.
We
How do you
can
know your
cover
true
our
name?
ears.
At the very least, it would need to be shared with William.
No,
Which
I
would-
cannot
I know.
share it.
I'm agreeing with you.
If you overhear me saying it to her, that's different, but I cannot share someone's true name.
Arvid
Oh.
has known how this place works better than anyone else the entire time
Arvid,
we've been
I
here.
can't believe I
I
forgot.
trust him on this.
I'm an idiot. Cast invisibility on yourself. And take this pouch of pixie dust. You can't be heard if you don't trip over everything.
I can't be heard anyway with my boots.
Just shut up and take my pixie dust.
Right, Johan, could you pass me the horn, please?
We're trying to get you the ultimate stealthiness, so, you know.
That should be fine. So, I assume Johan passes the horn.
This is like maybe the fourth most important thing I've ever been included in, so yeah.
Did
Yeah.
we lose Johan?
I think we might have. So
Sorry, I'm here. What's going on? My dog was distracting me.
I'm asking you for the horn.
Yes, I will hand you the horn.
Right, just stay nearby in case everything goes tits up.
Okay.
Right.
And this door, I think it connected to the ballroom, so we could open it as well or keep it closed.
Yes, probably open this one and I'll sneak around.
Okay.
Just takes a deep breath so he doesn't actually breathe. And he's going to attempt to sneak around and use the horn. So I believe I roll with advantage due to the boots. And I'll guide myself. Yeah, so 27.
Just a reminder, guidance takes your concentration.
Yeah.
And it also is casting a spell, so it would break your invisibility if you cast it after you're
No, I
invisible.
wasn't casting invisibility just yet.
Okay,
I'm just going super silent.
gotcha.
Let me check what the Jabberwock perception is here.
Please do not roll higher than a 27.
Sleep, so that also helps your cause.
I'm gonna say if Ragna hears like any growling or sounds of it waking, she's just gonna immediately yell really loud and just run across the hall.
All right, so it does not appear to wake. But if anybody is interested and would like to do a perception check to see if you can hear what Arvid says, you're free to do so.
Callum will not.
Nope.
Trying, but can't hear shit.
So he will just place the horn against her, leaning close and whisper the name Natasha.
And you will see, once more able to move, Zybilna lurches forward a step and then sort of like quickly regains her balance and says, "Damn, too late." And then she sort of looks, her eyes darting around in search of enemies before fixing on you and says, "Have we met?"
Once a time ago, I served Queen Titania.
"And your friends?"
They're here on a different purpose, but none of us are with the hags.
Ragna peeks around the corner.
And
Once they're talking, Callum will step out this way too.
And you, with all of this, the Jabberwock does wake up, and you can see Zybilna actually just kind of reaches up and puts a hand on its haunches, and it kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, it kind of purrs, and then kind of just settles back down. "Well, seems that we should have a bit of a discussion." And she will walk up here, sort of motion for all of you to follow her. There's a little table and some chairs up here, to which she will come up and sit and sort of invite all of you to do the same.
Oh, thank you.
And if you want to sit yourself on a seat, if you don't know this, you can hold the Alt key and move your
Ooh,
token, and it'll allow you to not snap to places.
nope, that's not alt.
Or you just pick the chairs on the corners.
You can do that too. That also snaps.
There.
So, yeah. So that's another trick, in case you didn't know that about Roll20, just hold the Alt key. I have to do that sometimes when I'm adjusting maps, so.
Hi, your warlock was worried and sent us to come find you.
Oh yes, poor Madrick. I'm afraid he's no longer with us.
Oh,
Oh,
that's too bad.
wait, how long has it been?
Well, I don't know how long you've been here.
Ragna glances at Arvid, kind of looking worried.
Can you tell how long Hadrick has not been with us?
And you can see that she's kind of thinking, and it's almost like she's like her brain is kind of a computer at this point, and she's just sort of like you can see her eyes are kind of like twitching a little bit as if she's sort of just like trying to gather what has been going on. But it's been at least a few weeks, I think.
I see.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes.
Well, that is disappointing to hear.
Do you have any time or any way to tell what the current date is in the prime material plane?
Not without going there myself.
Hey, if it's only been a few weeks, I am perfectly content.
A few weeks here is very different than in the material plane.
No, I mean
Right,
in the
Arvid?
material plane. That's what she just said.
Well, she said that he's been dead for a couple weeks, but you didn't. He was alive when you left.
Yeah, so it's been a few weeks.
That's
At
assuming
least.
he died as soon as we
It's been
left.
a few. It's been a few Feywild weeks.
Oh well,
Since he died.
fair enough.
So, what is it that Madrick told you?
He just said that his connection to you hasn't, well, it was gone, or he can't contact you. He was quite worried about you, so he asked us to come over here, and at the same time, we were trying to search for something to help mine and Signe's sister.
And she kind of raises an eyebrow. And what is it that you believe that would be?
We have no idea, but nothing's helped so far. No magic, no medicine.
Well, the Midori Sunstone,
Theoretically.
potentially.
I should probably explain. Their sister seems to be stuck in a perpetual nightmare, which is part of my mission. There seems to be issues with the dream realm, which I am investigating.
Well, I have seen magic of this type before, unfortunately. The Midori
know.
Sunstone could potentially reverse the spell. However, that is a very dangerous item. But
What
before we
makes
get
it-
into anything like that, let's have some refreshments. And you can see that she just kind of like kind of put to the back of her hand, kind of waves across the table, and all kinds of like pastries and tea and coffee and like just and it all looks, it's not Feywild food. It's actually like food that would be desirable to all of you.
Oh, thank you.
And it's all like absolutely delicious, super sweet, makes your teeth hurt. But you can balance it out with the coffee and all that kind of stuff. And she says, and also as a token of my thanks for freeing me, I think it would be appropriate to. And she looks at all of you as adventurers. I will strengthen your resolve, and let's see about turning some of your weaknesses into strengths. So everybody roll a hit die.
Yeah.
Arvid, roll again. And everybody take that number and add it to your permanent hit points.
What?
Do we add our con modifier again as well?
Not. You just get that straight number.
Damn.
Okay, so then I gotta take off one for mine.
Well, no, I take it back. Yeah, just take that number. So if so take your con modifier as well. So whatever you roll, just take that number. So 8, 14, whatever. And then Arvid, take your 6 instead of your 5.
Damn, Signe getting beefy.
And in addition, everybody, whatever your lowest stat is, add +1 to it. Your skill, like whether it's strength or whatever your lowest skill stat is.
I go from 8 to 9 wisdom.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Intelligence or wisdom?
If it is, it's the same, then pick whichever one you believe would be the most appropriate for your character.
Intelligence up to
somehow
13.
Feel more likable.
Hmm.
I genuinely didn't think that was possible. Thank you, ladies. and
Callum feels no mechanical difference because he got an odd number in int.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah, I still have an odd number, but
And I'm
Technically,
gonna-
I guess he can multi-class into anything now.
Yes. I will tell you, out of game here to metagame a little bit, the reward, because again, just to keep in mind that this is supposed to be its own campaign essentially, the reward that she would have given you otherwise, like by the rules, is everybody gets to cast the wish spell
holy
individually.
hell.
Ooh.
And it's like, as an end of a campaign thing, sure. go for it. But that was not something that I thought I could work around. So I gave you all those stats instead.
That works.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic too. Thank you.
If you're handing stuff out, how about free spell slots?
I don't think that the character sheet would even do that, would it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, will it?
If
All
you-
right. Well, anyway, that's what she's offered you as a reward for saving her, as an ongoing campaign.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what happens now between you and your sisters?
Oh, I would kill them all.
Can
We
I help?
tried the first one. I don't remember her name.
Lorna.
Sort of looked like a frog.
Yes, Bavlorna.
We
kill
tried.
her
We came
first.
close. She almost ate me.
We can help you kill them if you'd like.
I understand that the actions they have taken are grim, but surely imprisonment would suffice.
Put on some more soothing music as you're having this conversation. That was a little bit hardcore there. Well, it's possible that they will attempt to escape, but otherwise I will kill them.
Is
And-
there anything we can assist with?
I think I can handle it myself.
Oh,
I will
thank
tell you that I believe that the spell that you are describing sounds like a spell that my mother created. Though I doubt she would have cast it herself. So mysteries
you-
upon mysteries.
Could you tell us more about it, or if there's a way to reverse it, please?
Well, you are correct that the Midori Sunstone would counteract the effects without... Unfortunately, I don't know the way to remove the spell myself. My mother would, though I don't suggest going to find her.
Do you know the location of the stone or where it was last seen?
Oh, I have it.
Oh,
Among many other treasures here.
Can we somehow convince you to let us borrow you and use the stone on our sister? That
Well,
way you know it's not being mishandled.
that is still a rather large favor, for which I would require something in return of equal measure.
We would give anything. Or at least I would give anything.
To which she gets a little bit of a smirk on her face when you say that.
I immediately put down a moonstone.
Which does what?
Nothing, it's just trade.
She seems to ignore that and is staring directly at Ragna, who was appropriately right across from her. And she says, well, considering that I've lost magic, I could use someone else in my service. You would fit that quite well, I think. And you can see that she says, and it would be quite fun to have a little fun with the gods, knowing that Arathis would be quite annoyed. And you can see that she's a little excited about this.
I don't fully understand, but yes, I'll do anything to save my sister.
Very well. We
What
shall
if
enter
I
a
were-
pact.
Shit.
Okay.
But before that, we'll get into a bit more of the specifics, and I would prefer, at least at this time, not to travel back to the prime material plane. However, I can at least provide you with a piece, shard, if you will, of the Sunstone, which should be good enough for at least one use.
I feel I must ask, the Sunstone, some of the tales about its effects. One was the ability to defy death, if I remember correctly.
Potentially within the full usage of the stone. However, it does have quite a few drawbacks, and someone using the full power of the stone would undoubtedly live forever and go completely insane.
So it would only work for one person.
For the uses, well, I'm sure there are ways that you could make it affect more than one person, but that would be particularly dangerous.
Is there any sort of known upper limit to that ability?
Not that I'm aware of, because I don't believe it's ever been tried.
Interesting.
So do you just want to straight out tell her what your mission is, or what? Because I feel like she'd get a kick out of it.
Well, I suppose you did entertain the idea of, being a bit of a thorn in the god's side as well. So, that would be fair. I have to go find things now. There he is. My mission here was separate from this. I hope to find a way to end Neryl's reign.
And she sort of stops for a second. She kind of tilts her head. Oh, yes, I do see that all of you made wishes while you were at the Witchlight Carnival. That, and she points at you, Callum, being basically what you asked, in a roundabout way. Or what you wished for, rather. And she kind of looks around the room and everybody, and you three seem to have all wished for the same things. And she turns to you, Johan, and she's like, You are not what you think you are. And then she just sort of turns to Griswold. Says, well, the ultimate goal that you have will not be an easy one, and it will not be something that will come to you directly. You will have to go after it yourself. And then
Care
she turns
to
back to you.
elaborate on what you mean?
Well, you're not wholly what you think you are. You are Johan among other people.
I don't think I fully understand. Can you maybe be a bit more direct? How am I
Well,
not me? Are there others? Do I have other personalities?
Callum can't help but crack a small smile at this request.
Personalities might be a bit of an understatement, I suppose.
Like multiple people or souls?
And she winks at you when you say that. I knew I had chosen wisely. Yes, you are many people trapped inside of that thing. And she sort of had a little disgusted look at your robotic form, I guess.
Do you know where I can look to find more answers? I feel that you've just provided me with more questions.
He sort of sighs a little bit. Well, there are probably many people who knew your originator, though I'm not sure how many would still be alive.
Am I not my own creator?
Well, sort of. At least part of you is. What have you discovered in your travels? Maybe I can answer some questions from there.
Well, as far as I remember, I transferred my soul into this body. So I am unaware of what you speak of regarding the other matters, but there was also some visions of sort that I've been having since we visited a place called Oakheart back in the prime material plane. I seem to recall memories of a blacksmith and a baker, but those are preposterous. I've never done such menial work.
She just sort of chuckles. Well, you were on the right track, at least. Are you sure you want to hear this? It may not be... It might be somewhat upsetting.
If it moves me towards my goal, then I will face whatever it is.
Signe shakes her head vigorously as she crams another crumpet into her face.
Well, it just so happens that I knew the person who created that body. Her name... Well, you may have heard this name yourself, or might remember this name, but her name was Kaelin Nasatra.
Do I recognize that name?
You do. You would have discovered that name when you were researching about the within the Nexus.
Alright, how do you
She
spell
is she. Oh yeah.
like that? Whoops. This without the extra S before the C. Oh, okay.
Nasatra. Yeah. He was an elven mage 600 years ago. Kaelin would have been your originator, and she may still be a part of you. The village of Oakhart was her testing ground. The process of transferring one's soul to an inanimate object is not a simple thing or a safe thing, and to do so, she basically turned that body into a walking...
Phylactery?
phylactery. Yes. And she took all of the souls of that village in the process. Which is probably why you have memories of different people, different jobs. And I imagine over the last 600 years or so, you've probably believed yourself to be any number of different people.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. If the point is to make a phylactery, what's the point of making one that's walking and moving and exposed and constantly in danger?
Well, it was a bit of an experiment and also a bit of a... I'm not sure how to say it. An attempted vengeance against someone who betrayed her, who had promised her eternal life, and then turned his back on her. Used her for her findings, and then left her.
Do you know where she is now? Is she still alive?
She's inside of you, like the rest of them.
Oh, someone's gonna go on a spirit journey.
Callum, who has been listening with just rapt attention to all of this.
I
All of the souls are still inside of it.
Yes, the entire village of Oakhart, including Kaelin herself.
I will take a few moments to collect my thoughts before asking her, is there a way for me to speak to her soul?
I don't know how that would work exactly. Right now, you seem to believe yourself to be this Johann person who is just, again, one of the many. You may have to... I don't know that you have control over any of them, or any way that you would be able to speak to any of them individually. Again, they are all a part of you. You are all of them and none of them. But Kalen is your originator. If there is one person who you could claim to be the true owner of such a body, it would be her.
So then, what are the memories that, like, my my purpose, I felt, has been to find a way to revive my daughter. Where is that coming from? Is that not real? If I'm
I'm
just
sure
a
it's
collection
real.
of
I'm sure Johann would probably like to resurrect his daughter, who is probably also inside of that body. But 100 years ago, you may have believed that you were that baker that you have memories of, and your interest would have been to bake good cookies. I don't know, but I imagine you don't have full memories going back very far. Do you remember having a childhood as Johann? You don't, by the way.
I don't no.
So,
I don't
prior
remember
to
much.
this shift to Johann, you probably again believe that you were another person, and those memories would have started there. You would have retained some of the memories you had prior to your untimely demise, but nothing beforehand. And once you, whatever causes a shift, would cause you to forget.
I see.
And I think you looked at like a census or something. I think there's roughly like 200 to 300 people that were in Oakhart.
Yeah.
So is Johann in danger of just suddenly not being Johann and being someone else?
Oh yes, definitely. But I don't know what triggers such a change.
Would you have any recommendation for where I can look for the answer to that? Any leads that I could follow?
Well, if you have memories at all of Vance the Corruptor, he's the one that supposedly betrayed Kalen, might set you on a path, might possibly be a way to trigger her return. I don't know.
Do you know where this Vance is right now?
Well, in theory, he should probably be dead, but it's difficult to say. He was a necromancer, again promising to provide her with eternal life, but took it for himself. So if he was successful in his endeavor, he might be around here somewhere, though from all indications he does not reside in Exandria or in the Feywild, I can tell you.
I wonder if he's in the Shadowfell.
Seems a fitting place for necromancers. Possibly the Abyss, possibly the Hells.
I appreciate your help. This has given me a lot to consider.
Well, at the very least, I can do a little bit to help, I suppose. And you can see that she kind of reaches back behind your neck and puts her hand sort of like on the back of the armor plating, and you can see a kind of a flash of a light. You don't feel anything. I don't really know how much you feel actually, anyway. But she says, "Well, that should protect the sigil from being destroyed, at least from normal means of damage." Essentially, anybody that's seen Full Metal Alchemist were kind of going on the premise of the blood sigil in the armor, and if that gets damaged, that basically destroys the phylactery. So she has protected that sigil for you, at least.
Wait. You mean there was just a little mark that could have worn off any time and he would have dropped dead?
Well, it probably would have been under some of the armor plating.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't stand out in the rain much.
Holy cow! No kidding.
Well, you
Just
said
kind of looks around at everyone and just goes, uh, does everyone just forget that she plans on keeping Ragna?
Oh, I'm not going to keep her. She's free to go about her business.
It's
Yeah.
Our
awesome.
pact will simply be of mutual benefit. My enemies become yours, and yours become mine.
Are you sure I'm not the one more suited towards that?
Well, I am looking for someone with a little bit more magical ability than you.
Oh, okay.
And this appearance, even the description of it in the thing is this white hair. So this token is not a good. This isn't what she looks like. So she looks like. So you two actually recognize her because remember you saw this woman at the Witchlight Carnival when you were children. So she's the one who gave Cygnus. She's the one who gave you I think she gave you candy when you were a kid. Like giving candy to strangers, taking candy from strangers, totally a Cygna thing to do, right?
Well, I'll be honest. I'm really disappointed. Kind of looked up to you for a long time, ever since I saw you at the Witchlight Carnival. You're just so cool, you know? Anyhow, Ragna, if you're seriously up for this, go ahead.
Yes, I think so. I mean, it seems very mutually beneficial for both of us.
And well, I won't make too much of a deal out of this. It doesn't actually have to be done in person, but since you're here, and she'll walk over to you, and actually she'll ask you to kneel,
Yeah, she will get out of the chair and kneel.
and when she does this, you get a flash because it's the same imagery of the dream that you had, except it was Rhea who was doing this, and Zabelna actually puts her hand on your head, and a sort of a glow, kind of a purplish greenish glow, starts to emanate from her hand. And actually, I made something for you, Tara. So let me send this
Ooh.
in Discord here. So we did this before. So if you'll remember, the markings that Madrick had. So I made that. So now you can see under her eye. And the rest of you will now see as well that under her left eye. Oh, actually, I sent that to the wrong person. Under her left eye is now a chicken foot symbol.
Oh, cool. Yay.
And she will go back to her seat. And you will feel immediately when this happens the disconnect from Arathis. That sort of warmth that you just sort of got used to, that you didn't really even equate to Arathis anymore. You feel at first you feel empty, and then it's sort of replaced by Zabilna's presence, but it's not the same. Zabilna definitely carries a much more sinister, dark energy with her than Arathis. So it's a little bit unnerving at first to sort of have that shift. So for our purposes now, you are an Oathbreaker paladin, and you are at least a level 1 warlock.
Cool. So I should swap level 6 to level 5 and grab a warlock level.
Oh, we're gonna level up after this anyway.
It's possible, but so yeah. In addition, this is not. I'm just going to do this because Zabilna is generally not used as a one of the Archfey, and obviously, your characters. I mean, I don't know most of you probably wouldn't know anyway, but obviously out of game, Zybilna is Igwilv, and she is Natasha, as in Tasha, Tasha's
Hideous laughter.
Yeah.
all of that. And so, because of that, even though they are not paladin or warlock spells, you are also free to use any spell that has Tasha's name in it.
Ooh.
They would count just the same as any of your other spells. So you would have to have them prepared, and you would, you know. But I think like Tasha's hideous laughter, I think is only bards and sorcerers.
I think there are some warlocks who get it. I could
Yeah.
be wrong.
So anyway, regardless, so Mind Whip, anything
Mind
that
Whip's
has,
good.
yeah, Mind Whip's a great spell. So I don't remember. Hideous Laughter and Mind Whip are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head, but I think
Caustic Brew.
yeah. So anything that you can find that has her name in it, Tasha's anything, you are free to take that spell as well.
Otherworldly guys. Once you get to those levels.
So yeah, take note of that, even though they're not going to be on all of your spell lists for sure. And then I don't know exactly. It's been a long time. What you gain and what you lose by becoming an Oathbreaker, but
Yeah, the thing that I know she loses is like her oath specific spells and her channel divinity, and those get replaced by Oathbreaker stuff.
Yep.
But I can't
That's-
remember what else.
and then
That's
your
pretty
channel,
much it.
And your
Okay.
channel divinity will be her now. Your channel,
Okay.
your divine intervention will be Zybilna now.
Oh,
So the question is, does Ragnar now know her true name?
She would, yes, and it probably wouldn't be a thing that would be audibly spoken to anybody. As you can see, under her right eye, Zybilna has the chicken finger, the chicken foot, and the chicken foot is actually not Tasha's symbol itself. It's actually her mother's symbol.
Was gonna say Baba Yaga.
Yes, which in our game is she's not called Baba Yaga, she's just called Yaga the Unclean, because I didn't want to make it that on the nose, but because I actually, funny enough, I had created the character of Yaga the Unclean before I knew that she was involved, or she's not technically involved, but would be at least a side mention in this module. So it kind of worked out perfectly.
Griswold's gonna kind of look around at everyone and just. And what did you mean about my wish? It won't be easy. That seems rather expected.
Well, if your desire is to kill the one who's responsible for your capture, he will not come to you. You will have to go to him. His subordinates, they will probably make an appearance, or at least potentially make an appearance, and you could take them on in Exandria, but if you'd like to get to the heart of the matter...
There's
have to
already
go
some looking for me in Exandria. That I've seen in the dreams in the Feywild.
Well, it sounds like it's time for me to keep my promise to you. I'll defend you.
I believe what our host may be referencing is something I had come across in my research on Nero. Many creatures of the lower planes can only be permanently dealt with within their own plane.
In your case, that would be the Hells. Of which I'm not a particular fan of devils. Also, Tasha is known as the Dream Witch. So she does have... That's part of the visions and dreams that you had are because of her, but she would be able to control these things in Prismere if she was not frozen in time. So those things will now go away that she has been returned.
Right. Well, Johann, it seems we both may have a similar path in the future. I heard her tell you something about the Hells, possibly.
Yes, I apologize. I'm sorting through some of this information. If the Hells is where I must go, then though it shall be.
I'll be with you.
I would appreciate the company.
Agreed.
And she goes back to you, Callum, and just I apologize. We were a bit sidetracked when you made mention of trying to stop Nerul, and while that certainly won't be an easy task, I do have a suggestion of a place to start, and that would be similarly to what Griswold here is going to seemingly take upon himself, which is go after his lieutenants and generals first. Weaken him before you attack him directly.
I see.
Military tactics.
That
Gotcha.
does make sense.
He doesn't often make an appearance himself and uses his subordinates to do his dirty work, so to speak, and without them, you'll certainly gain his attention and his ire.
Yes, I had certainly been looking into such avenues. Unfortunately, Thanatos and the others are just as hard to track.
Well, if you're looking for the Aranese, the Furies, might be best to find cultists, make a bit of a mess of them. Some of their more powerful sorcerers may have ways of summoning such allies of Nerul, and she sort of looks and goes, though I don't know that you have the stomach to get that information from them. Perhaps you could use someone else, and she sort of motions to Signe to get that information from them.
Well, I'm gonna look to Caleb, and I'm just gonna what is it? What is this god? It is a god, yes, Nerul.
Yes, the god of death.
What is he? Is he devil? Undead?
He is one of the
God.
betrayer gods. Beyond that, it's hard to categorize any of them. I can tell you what I know of him, for sure, but to lump him in with any of the others would be a difficulty.
He is the god of death. He
Well,
does
I just
have necromancers.
well you mentioned if he wanted to get the Aaron yes to come to him, yeah, correct?
Iranese.
Aaronese.
You call them the Furies. The Aranese is the Greek name, the Furies is the Roman name.
Well,
But I will make just real quick. The Aranese do exist in D&D, but I'm not using that version of them because in D&D there's a bunch of them and they're just like devils. And for us, there's 3 of them. I'm using the Greek version of them. There's 3 of them and they are essentially generals of Nerul.
but they are devils still.
I believe that they would still be considered
Okay.
devils. Yes.
Yeah. So Griswold will look at him and just say, "Well, if it has to do with devils, and he kind of like gets like a kind of mischievous but a little bit scarier grin on his face. He goes, I would gladly help you get information from them.
Then I believe we are on the same page. As for your concerns, Lady Zybilna, I assure you, my convictions towards this end know no barriers.
Well, that's good to know. And she kind of has a little smile on her face. So yes, I think finding with some of his worshippers might be a good place to start. You can see that she kind of has a little bit of a distaste by saying this, but she says evil necromancers and rogues tend to follow Nerul. They're a little bit hard to find, as I'm sure you're already aware, because
Callum gives a knowing nod and says, I may have a method to circumvent that upon our return.
Well, I wish you luck.
And Griswold's gonna kind of look into rogues, as in just like me, like some people who are, and he just looks confused.
Well, thieves and beggars and the like.
He if I think back to my time in using thieves camp and around sort of different guilds and stuff, does anything jog my memory of like pure evil people like that?
You probably would have run across people like that, but they would have been more uh, related to the like assassins than
Okay.
than like pure thieves.
Okay. All right.
And
So okay, I got it.
while and if if Griswold is asking these questions, Callum would at least like gesture with kind of a calming hand and say, typically, most of the common folk do not worship Nero. Many fear to even say his name lest they draw his attention. Though those who know of his true nature would know that avoiding speaking of Nero is only playing into his hands.
I've come across some.
Which makes his cult a bit harder to track. They do not put themselves out in the open like so many others do, bragging about.
I've come across a few. I've done things most people would not be proud of, but I've never intentionally harmed or killed others for little to no reason. So I've come across these kinds of people. I just didn't know it was more than just crazy or psychopaths.
I mean, that statement may not be incorrect. Although, this does bring another point, and Callum will look back at Sibylla and say, even knowing my convictions in my path, I cannot convince you to spare the lives of your sisters. Surely adding them to Neryl's forces seems unpleasant. I thought I was just thinking real hard.
All right, Tara. Now that you're back, Matt has said he is lagging, so we're waiting for him.
Yes, I'm the only one without backstory reveals.
I mean, you kind of revealed that you knew who this was.
Callum literally told you guys his backstory on day one because I'm an idiot with a big mouth. So
No, you're not an idiot.
Wow, funny story. So I'm looking under character appearance on like bio, and for some reason it's empty. Wow.
Fixed it up, Matt?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
So I was trying to say something before, and then like everything lagged. And I got on my phone, and I had to like get off my Wi-Fi and use my cell to like type that in there, and it took, yeah, I don't know, everything's acting funny. What's weird is that like I got the thing up in Roll20 where you get the little red thing that says you're getting a bad connection or.
Uh-oh.
Now you're
there he
lagging
goes
again.
again.
Like now?
Well, it looks like the Feywild has killed
Whatever,
his
huh?
internet connection.
Oh,
Hey.
he just popped back up for me.
For like a second.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what did I miss?
Uh,
I've
Caleb,
returned.
ask you another
what
question.
was the last thing that you heard?
Well, I was talking, and the reason that I noticed that you guys couldn't understand me is that Mike started talking over me because he didn't hear me talking.
I see.
So Mike was asking a question about something. That was the last thing that I heard.
Well, I was telling Caleb about I've come across rogues who just killed for like to do it and stuff, and kind of never thought about a different motive other than them just being like psychos.
Callum acknowledged that they might just be psychos. I would call those the same thing. But then also asked Zabilna a question.
So what I was mentioning was that, and maybe you heard this or maybe you didn't, but Zabilna made mention of the fact that Nerul's cult and his followers are
Is
much
harder
more
to find. Yes.
than the rest. Okay.
Yes, we did hear that. So Callum then was asking Zabilna a question, which was that given that you know my intent and my goals, I still cannot convince you to spare the lives of your sisters. Adding them to Neryl's forces seems counterproductive. Oh God, does that
And then
question
once
just keep...
successful, I'll kill them then.
You were quiet and then it like cut back in for me.
Same here. It just
Yeah,
like
all I heard was at that time or something.
I believe I caught the gist of it, which was, I'll let them live until you kill God, and then I'll kill them. And Callum is completely okay with that.
But Matt's internet isn't.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I was saying, but I might have to restart my computer. Zabilna replied to that request by saying that she would make a deal with you and that she would banish her sisters until you were successful in your role, and then she'll kill them.
I believe that is the best deal that I could ask for at this point.
Very well.
If you could also do me a favor, feel free to say no, but your sister who swallowed me, please make her suffer.
With pleasure.
Oh, there was something else. I believe there are children being held hostage in which one was it?
Scavathos.
Thither.
Yes, thither. Could you please see to them quickly?
And she goes, just a moment, and about behind the table, and you can see that she starts like basically putting a magical sigil on the ground and starts casting spells, and it takes a little bit of time for her to process this, and you can see that it's impressive the amount of power that she is using here, and a little bit frightening, and you can see that it's starting to take a little bit of a toll on her, and she goes back after she's done and kind of waves her hand, and the sigil goes away. She says, well, my sisters will be waiting in pandemonium for now, and the children will be free.
Everyone's gonna be so excited that you're back. Like, seriously.
There are quite a few people frozen as you were still.
Yes, I will take care of that as well.
Oh, and your librarian did a great job reinforcing that we weren't supposed to be there.
Oh, Arvid, the gems.
Oh yes, we should return those.
We didn't know if that would be possible helpful to waking you up. Arvid, you still have them, yes?
Yes, I do, and I didn't reveal what they were as I placed the 3 gems down.
She just kind of gives a little wink to you, Arvid, and then she again just waves her hand across the crystals, and you can see that the all of the color is removed from them, and you can kind of see it's almost like a mist that she inhales, and then has her eyes closed, and then just sort of blinks a little bit. Oh, that's nice.
Well, I think one last question I would have is, how do we get back to Exandria from here? Um, we were told about the mushrooms with the portals, but it appears that those don't always bring you out where you want to go.
Well, I do have a bit of a connection to Madrick, and I assume he offered you something to assist in helping, so I could return you to his abode if you would like.
Sounds good to me.
Yes,
Uh,
that's close to where we are.
Yeah,
We need
which
to
you,
be.
if you remember, it was about a day-ish, I think, to Stormhaven.
um, if we're going to be well, especially my path seems to be leading to the hells. Your librarian did mention a book that you may have. I was wondering if I could perhaps borrow it. Uh, he said something about the title being Nadir of Nessus.
She kind of nods at you, and again, you something I should have probably mentioned is that Zabilna, as you're sitting here, is like radiating like magical power. I mean, like you can feel it. Like she is. This is as close to any of you have been to like in the presence of a god. Like she is just off the charts powerful. um, and so you can see that a lot of this magic that even that you would have that some of you could have possibly understood. You can see that she's doing things that would be extremely complicated for like a wizard to do. So like when you mentioned that, she just sort of holds her right hand open, and the book appears, and then she sort of just claps her hands together, and then a copy, essentially another version of the same book, is in her other hand, to which she sort of slides across the table to you, and then the one in her right hand, she just sort of closes her fist and it disappears.
Really, really quickly, I'm gonna grab it. Open it up, maybe like a quarter of the way in. Can I read it? Is it in common? Is it in some language I can't understand?
Um, it would probably
I do speak Infernal.
it would
Oops.
at least some of it would probably be in infernal.
Okay.
It would not be because it's related to the hells. It would be infernal, and not abyssal. So
Okay. All right. So I will. I'll nod. I'll say thank you very much, and I'll. Johan, can you please put this in your bag? Keep it safe.
I'll take it and put it in the bag of holding. And sorry, just one more thing before we go. This is more out of curiosity. How did your sisters manage to put you in such a compromised position to begin with? You seem to be able to easily deal with all of them.
I
Well,
wouldn't answer that.
I won't give you the specific details, but I can admit when I have failed. It was a bit of a long con. Obviously, my sisters and I have had our differences in the past, but they spent quite a few years making me believe that we were all on the same side and all working together. And I let my guard down in a moment of weakness, and you saw the result.
Fair enough. I thank you for entertaining my curiosity.
So, before you all return to Exandria, is there anything else that you would like to ask? This may be your only opportunity, aside from you, of course, and pointing to Ragna.
I have something to talk to you about that's probably best done in private.
And she looks at everybody else. Well, we can hold on that. Anybody else?
One
Real quick.
request.
Sorry. Go, Signe?
No, it's okay. Do your thing.
Oh, I was just going to say, if Vance the Corruptor is still alive, I presume that he has found a way to extend his mortal life. Would there be any advice that you can provide in terms of ending such an unnatural lifespan?
Well, if he's still alive, he's a lich. So, destroying a phylactery would be the way to go about it. At least if you're searching for a permanent answer.
Well, thank you. That's all I had, Signe.
You know,
Signe-
Johan, it would be terrifying if you ended up being his phylactery.
Don't give the DM ideas.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I was like, I didn't think of that.
Whoops! No, never mind.
Yes, well, I guess we will just have to cross that bridge when we get there, if we get there.
Signe will come around. She will take a begging position on the floor, knees on the knees, head bowed, hands in front of her, elbows bent. Please, I beg of you, never put me in a position where I have to fight against my sister.
Don't see that as being one of the outcomes that I can foresee, but I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you for your generosity.
And she looks at you, Ragnar, says, and speaking of, I assume you've seen one of the many outcomes that are potentially in the wings, and I will say that I have seen them myself, and if the time comes that you need to leave my service, you need only ask.
Thank you.
But I'm very excited to see what Arathis does. As a further point, I will just add a warning that now that you are carrying the symbol, your colleagues, we'll call them, will not take it too well.
I was worried about that. But
That
it
means-
was necessary.
Oh, I was going to say, it means you finally have some of that freedom from the temple you were looking for.
Yes, as I said, your enemies are mine and mine are yours, and I won't call upon you too often, although it will be nice to have someone who's a little bit more spry than Madrick and can do a few more things for me if necessary.
Of course.
Sorry, one more thing I just thought of, and please, your assistance has already been great, so feel free to refuse this request, but do you have any material assistance that we could use to help accomplish our goals?
And he's
Oh,
gone.
yeah, and Signe, I believe you still have the key to her, or Ragna, I believe you still have the key to her carriage.
Yes, I
my
do.
gosh. You're right, I totally forgot. Hey, here's your apps bag. I picked it up in the garden.
And Ragnar will give the key back. Once Matt back.
Yeah, just trying to say, I don't think he's back yet.
Look, we're adventurers, we have to ask for magic items, right?
You asked too
Speak for
hard.
yourself.
He's gone.
He really didn't like that fucking question.
She got up and left the room.
No, he
So
can
good.
hear.
Yeah, I could hear you up until a point where you're like, you have to wait till I get back. I was like, I can hear you, but I just can't talk for some reason because I keep getting the red line on voice connected and Discord. So
Okay,
I don't know what
well,
the deal is.
we got you now, for
Yeah,
now
so
at
she
least.
she will take the axe back if you offer it to her.
Yeah, I'll give it back to her.
And Ragnar will give the key back.
All right. And I assume you heard me that she did say that you could get magic stuff. That's what.
Oh, yes,
When-
previously.
Yeah. So when you were asking if she had anything that she could give you to assist, she said you can go to Madrix
And take his things.
take his things and if no one has come along and they probably haven't, if you could just go ahead and give him a nice burial because his body's probably still there.
Oh, absolutely.
He was a bit of a hermit.
One other thing.
Of course.
You're missing a rug.
She just sort of chuckles.
Mm.
It was not expected. It did do its job very well, I should say, before we threw it into the abyss.
Well, good to know.
We also started to jailbreak some of your prisoners before we realized they were prisoners, so I would just double check those bars are still strong because I kind of bent some of them out of shape.
Oh, and we ended up putting the falling man into one of the jail cells as well.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure who that is, but I will take a look later.
All right. Well, I'm sure you have it from here, so shall we take our leave so Arvid can have his counsel?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And as we're walking out, Griswold's gonna look over his shoulder. Oh, and there are people out in the garden who have been here a very, very long time and don't seem to know what's going on. And he'll just go.
All right.
Wait, so how are we getting back? Is she opening a portal or something for us?
She'll send you. She will plane shift you all.
Yeah, I think we just go outside and wait for Arvid to do his thing.
Oh, well, Sydney's gonna stand here and eye the Jabberwocky.
It doesn't seem to be. It is awake now, but it doesn't seem to be angry or like making any sort of, trying to attack you or anything.
I'm gonna
Signe,
check
if you
out.
try to kill that thing, and I have to
No,
kill it
no,
again
no,
later.
no. How is Aster doing?
Probably fine.
Aw, you're such a good girl. You're not even scared of these big old Jabberwocky.
Probably pretty interested in the little pixies. See if we can eat them. She can eat them. So Arvid,
Well, now that they've left us alone, I made sure not to reveal anything as it's not my place.
appreciated.
While I'm not here on the Queen's business, Sir Talavar is, so you probably find him floating around in one of the realms.
Well, I will make sure that Titania is aware of you and Sir Talavar's dealings here, as I believe she will be quite pleased.
That'd be nice, but not exactly necessary. The only thing I would ask is, I was sent out to investigate all these disturbances within the dream realm, and knowing it's part of your speciality as well, do you have any insights?
Well, as it relates to this instance, as I mentioned, I do believe that something related to my mother is the cause of this child's issues. That may be something that you would be interested in researching further. Again, I don't believe that my mother herself would have cast this spell. She had no reason to. She tends to keep to herself these days, but that might be a good place to start an inquiry. it's possible that this won't be the last attempt to cast such a spell.
Probably not, but hopefully, if there is someone out there doing this, that they don't get too wild. I assume if someone's going around casting her spells, she will eventually take notice.
Possible. She's certainly not someone you want on her bad side.
Agreed. But, no, there wasn't anything in particular I needed from you. I was just confirming things and letting you know that's obviously barring Ragnar who now knows your name, that I made sure to keep everything a secret.
And you can see that she's getting a little bit agitated at just this sort of discussion about who she really is, and she says, appreciated.
But that's all from me. I shall head to the rest of them now.
She sort of nods at you, and then just a very short time later, she would present Ragna with kind of it's like on a necklace, and it's kind of like almost like it's in a like a test tube or something, kind of this glass locket of sorts, that has a shard of this sort of glowing green rock. It's just like a sliver. And she says, well, this should do the trick. And she sort of hands you this piece of paper, which includes an incantation that you would need to read. It doesn't specifically require like a wizard or anything like that to do it. I will
Thank
tell
you.
you, and she, to Ragna and to Ragna only, I can't guarantee that there will be no side effects.
Okay.
And she says, well, is everyone ready to go?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lady Zabelna.
Yes.
Yes, ready?
Step in the right direction.
She will essentially cast plane shift without actually taking herself, which I don't think is possible. But she can do a version of plane shift and send all of you without her to Madric's hut, essentially. So, for the first time in a long time, we are out of the Feywild, and I will move us back
Yes.
to this map.
Now we just need
Wow.
to figure out how much time has passed.
Now I'm no longer bound by secrecy.
That seems like a good conversation for next
How
time.
much do we
Given-
remember?
Given
Yeah.
how bad Matt's internet has been.
Yeah, so before we do that, so because I don't want to do this part, so we will have the conversation and the what do you do next and stuff, but we'll just say that you bury Madric and you get his stuff. That way we'll just close off the whole module, and then we can start with what happens next outside of this module next time. So you get